37 degrees, cloudy, and a little bit of snow in Happy Valley in Pennsylvania. And it's State College, Pennsylvania. We welcome you to Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley for a Big Ten clash between the 6-3 Penn State Nittany Lions and the 6th-ranked 8-1 Michigan Wolverines. Zach Linfield here alongside Kelin, Flynn, and Kelin. There's a lot at stake in this game, and it'll seem that way for essentially every week throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, to make the college football playoff, you have to have a nearly perfect season. And the Wolverines, they've had their slip-up. So you have to go perfect now throughout the rest of the season. And obviously this is a just tremendous atmosphere, and it's going to be difficult for the Wolverines. They've struggled here before with this atmosphere, but this is a very talented team, and they're going to look to get the job done today.
Maybe got a bit of luck on the scheduling compared to years past. Penn State spent their whiteout this season on Auburn earlier in the year. Michigan gets Penn State at a noon kickoff rather than 7:30 in 2019, where they lost that game, and Ronnie Bell had an example in the end zone where they almost had that game. There were plenty of examples. Charbonnet had a great game on the ground against Penn State on that. It was really cold Saturday night here in Happy Valley in 2019. But as the coin toss is about to go down, we have a couple of things to highlight before today's game, and that's injuries. Michigan will be without Jamon Green, and they'll be without Blake Corum, two of their big-time playmakers. And Blake Corum, they've been splitting. Him and Hassan Haskins pretty much 50-50 throughout the rest of the season, or the beginning of the season, that is. But now it turns over to Hassan Haskins carrying a much bigger workload. However, there is an active player this week that's been injured in weeks past. Donovan Edwards is back, and he may have to command a couple of carries.
Yeah, Donovan Edwards, 5-star out of West Bloomfield. He's a super talented kid. I think this could be a big coming out game for him. If he's healthy and a full go, I'd expect for him to really make some plays for the Wolverines.
And now with Edwards here back, it seems like the split is going to be Hassan Haskins a lot, and the rest of them not as much. It's going to be Edwards, Leon Franklin, Tavier Dunlap splitting some carries. Michigan, though, is also without Jamon Green against one of the most dangerous receivers in the country. And Jahan Dotson, 71 receptions, 932 yards, 9 touchdowns receiving and 1 rushing. Without Jamon Green, who do they turn to cover one of the most talented guys in the Big Ten and in the country?
Well, you have a couple guys back there. Obviously, Daxton Hill's definitely the most talented player in that Michigan back end. Vincent Gray is much improved from last year, but I don't think it's just one guy. I mean, Dotson is just such a talented player. He's been absolutely lighting up every team he played this year. A huge game against Maryland last week, and a big game against Ohio State the weekend before. So I think it's going to really have to be a combination of guys for McDonald in that defense.
Penn State and Michigan, the 25th all-time meeting between the two schools. The Wolverines lead the series 14-10, coming into Happy Valley here today with a 6-6 record in State College. Penn State has won the toss. They've elected to receive, and Jake Moody will be kicking it away for the Wolverines in the white jerseys, maize pants and the winged helmets, but the maize accessories. We heard the Wolverines wanted to wear their all-maize uniforms. Penn State shut them down, and they're like, you know what? We'll deck out in the maize accessories anyway. Penn State in their traditional home uniforms, like Michigan's in the Big House. Blue uniforms, white helmet with the stripe, and the white pants. Big stakes in this game. Moody walks up to the ball, and the 25th all-time meeting between the Wolverines and Nittany Lions is underway. 2 thumbs into the end zone. The ball goes through it for a touchback, and the Penn State offense will be taking the field, led by, in his 29th start, Sean Clifford. The Wolverines have seen this guy maybe one too many times.
Yeah, that's true, and I think Clifford is going to be one of the biggest X factors in this game. Clifford banged up earlier in the season against Iowa. Penn State losing 3 in a row after Clifford's injury. His health is going to be key because Michigan has 2 absolute dudes coming off the edge in David Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson. Can Clifford be mobile and evade some of those pass rushers?
Well, he's in the shotgun on 1st down and 10. Noah Kane is running backs to his right. Claps his hands, now looks back at the center, gets the snap, hands off up the middle. That's Kane. No, he brings it back, and the pass is incomplete. He wanted the RPO to Keandre Lambert-Smith. Great defense by DJ Turner, who will have to step up big time in the absence of Jamon Green.
Yeah, this whole Wolverines secondary is going to be tested today. Penn State, not a tremendous run game, but they rely heavily on the pass with those talented receivers outside, and the Wolverines are going to need to show a strong pass rush and really try to hold on that back end.
The set is empty for Clifford. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Aiden Hutchinson on the rush. Clifford gets away. He tried to get it to his lineman. That was Rasheed Walker, the left tackle, and Aiden Hutchinson almost had a big-time sack. Instead, it forces a throwaway. It'll be 3rd down and 10 yards to go, and the referee is making a call. And Jim Harbaugh pleading for intentional grounding. I think they're going to get him for it. There's a flag down on the field now. That's head referee Michael Cannon throwing the laundry.
Yeah, and I'd expect to see a lot more of Aiden Hutchinson in Sean Clifford's grill. One of the best edge rushers in the country.
The call is intentional grounding on the Nittany Lions. Let's go through their starting lineup really quick from left to right across the line, starting with the left tackle, Rasheed Walker, one of the captains for the Nittany Lions. Anthony Wiggin, the left guard. At center, Mike Miranda. Juice Scruggs is the right guard. Caden Wallace, the right tackle. Receiver, Jahan Dotson. Parker Washington. Tight end, Theo Johnson. Noah Kane will get the most action for the Nittany Lions as the running back, and Sean Clifford, of course, is the quarterback. It's 3rd down, 17 yards to go for the Nittany Lions. Kane, a yard to the left of Clifford. Clifford drops the pass, looking, getting rushed. Now steps up in the pocket, throws, and it's complete. That's Parker Washington. He's got the first down, and he's going to be tackled by Rod Moore. Sean Clifford got away from one defender, and that's a big pickup on the play for the Nittany Lions. Count it for 22.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier with Clifford, being able to evade some of those pass rushers. Michigan had a hand on the jersey, just couldn't bring him down.
Clifford will drop the pass, looking. Ojabo comes around the corner and sacks him down big time.
Ojabo just unblocked there. I mean,
woo!
Cannot have that happen if you're the Nittany Lions.
It's a loss of 9 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 19. This will be a game of momentum shifts between the Wolverines and the Nittany Lions. It seemed like Penn State had one, and then Michigan gets one right back. They show a 4-man rush. Clifford's empty in the gun. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. John Lovett was the running back. He splits out wide. Penn State moves right to left. Ball's at the 33-yard line. Clifford dropping the pass. Another rush coming from the Wolverines. He's got plenty of room to run to the left side. Chris Hinton in pursuit, and he'll run him out of bounds at the 44.
Clifford showing some mobility early. That's huge for the Nittany Lions. I mean, if he's able to run around in that pocket, adds just a whole nother dimension to their offense.
It'll be 3rd down and 8. Michigan's got a great chance to get off the field here. Ball officially placed at the 44-yard line, left hash. Clifford will be empty in the gun again. He has the ability to run. Lots of athleticism from the redshirt senior from Cincinnati, Ohio. Snow continuing to fall here in State College. Lovett in motion. Clifford will keep up the middle. He's got a lot of room. Clifford past the 50 inside Michigan territory, and he's tackled by Hawkins. Plenty enough for a 1st down. Ball's at the 43 of the Wolverines.
Yeah, and this crowd's really starting to get into it here. These big plays by Penn State.
They go quick. 4 receivers to the right. Lovett is the back. It's a screen. Dotson. They practiced this all week to the Michigan defense, and he's cut down by Daxton Hill. It's still a gain of 4. They were all over it, but Jahan Dotson continues to pick up yardage. It'll be 2nd and 6. They flip the formation. Lovett is the running back. 4 receivers to the left side. It includes 2 tight ends, Theo Johnson and Brenton Strange, both sophomores. Clifford in the shotgun. Gets a snap, hands off. Lovett to the right side. Hutchinson's right there, and along with Juice Welchoff, they make the stop. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 6. Nice shed and replaced by Aiden Hutchinson to get around the block from the right tackle, Caden Wallace. Michigan makes their substitutions on defense, and when Nittany Lions come out in the empty set, that's where they've been their most impressive so far. It gives Clifford the chance to run.
Yeah, and you'd think that the Wolverines would love to see that. No threat of a run. They can just pin their ears back and try to get after the quarterback, but Clifford's been able to kind of exploit that aggressiveness and scamper for some yards.
Clifford drops to throw, looking down the right sideline. The pass is incomplete. He wanted Dotson DJ Turner in coverage, and Jahan Dotson's down on the turf. It was an uncatchable pass regardless, and that'll bring on the punt team. So Michigan had 3 opportunities on third down to get the Nittany Lions off the field. They finally do on their third opportunity, bearing anything on this punt.
Yeah, bend don't break mentality for the Michigan Wolverine defense there, able to get the stop. Big momentum not to let the Nittany Lions score on their first possession. That's huge for the rest of the game. Just if they can get up and get a lead early.
Michigan will use their first timeout of the first half. Michigan and Penn State scoreless here, just underway. 11:53 to go here in the first quarter. Wolverines trying to get off the field on 4th down and 6 as Penn State and Jordan Stout, one of the Penn State captains, are about to be ready to kick it away to the Wolverines.
Yeah, and offensively, I think the Wolverines, like you mentioned earlier, is going to be a heavy dose of Hassan Haskins and that ground game because Penn State's rush defense has been susceptible this year. Their back end is very, very strong. 2 phenomenal safeties, one of the best safety duos in the country back there. Nice pair of corners as well. But that ground game has been exploited, and that's what Michigan loves to do is run the football.
You know, one of the biggest stories for Michigan whenever they play Penn State now is Josh Gaddis, who served as the wide receivers coach and passing game coordinator under James Franklin at Penn State from 2014 to 2017, and the offenses are very similar. When Penn State had Josh Gaddis here, that was right around the McSorley era. They had Hackenberg for 2 years, but it is very similar. I don't know if you watched Penn State for a while during the mid-2010s, but the offense under Josh Gaddis was very similar.
Yeah, obviously they've had a lot of talented guys go through the Saquon Barkley era for a little bit before you mentioned Hackenberg. They've had a number of great receivers come through here with Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, obviously Dotson now, KJ Hamler now on the Denver Broncos. So they've had the weapons to really have a fantastic passing attack.
You look in the past, what positions has Penn State kind of been specialized in? Underrated receivers.
Oh, yeah.
We know about the linebackers, especially with Micah Parsons last year and in years past. He took a year off due to COVID last season. But linebacker U, there's a logo in the Penn State student section that says linebacker U, but truly underrated for their receiver production.
Yeah, like I just mentioned, listed off a number of guys, and there's more. They've just been able to churn out consistent production from their receivers, and not necessarily guys that were necessarily super highly touted recruits. They've had a number of those as well, but they've just developed their receiver position very well, and even behind Dotson, guys like Parker Washington have put up big games this year and are definitely a threat to make explosive plays at any moment.
And it helps when your quarterback's as athletic as Sean Clifford is. He rushed for a 28-yard touchdown last season against the Wolverines in the Big House. And that was a game Michigan thought that they were going to have. They were 2-4 at the time, or 2-3 at the time. Penn State was their final game of last season. Michigan lost in the Big House against the Nittany Lions, 27-17. They've dropped 2 in a row to Penn State after they dominated the 2018 game between the Wolverines and the Nittany Lions. It's a nice crowd in front of us, but it's still a little spotty. We figured that it would be completely packed. It's still a 6-3 team that's ranked inside the top 25 in the AP poll. In the helmet stripe game.
Yeah, obviously it's just known as an incredible atmosphere, but definitely not quite as full as I thought.
Jordan Stout's going to pass on the punt, looking for a receiver. He's got him. Wow. That can't happen if you're the Wolverines. Stout rolled out to the right, and he threw it all the way back across the field. Michigan had a defender, Quentin Johnson, right there, and he wasn't able to make the play.
Yeah, and that ball just kind of floated in over the top there. I thought Johnson might be able to make a play on that ball, and out of a media timeout, I don't know how you let something like that happen. You have time to discuss and go over anything like that, and that's just inexcusable this early in the game.
So Penn State and Sean Clifford come back out. They're moving from the 21-yard line, right to left. Clifford looks, throws, that's complete. Lambert Smith back to the 20-yard line, and he's pushed out of bounds by Hillen Gray. A yard on the play, 2nd down and 9. Quentin Johnson had a chance to knock the ball down out of the air, and he kind of looked back towards the punter, and he couldn't find it.
Yeah, he just must have lost the ball or something, but Stout just kind of ropes it in over the top, lands right into the hands of the receiver, and for a big play, big conversion.
John Lovett, the graduate transfer from Baylor, is the running back. In motion goes Parker Washington. He's on the left side now. Clifford gets the snap, drops to throw. Looking across the middle. Ojabo in pursuit. He wants the ankle if Clifford can't grab it. And pushed out of bounds is Clifford at the 16-yard line. Josh Ross was in pursuit. Another third down for the Wolverines. It'll be 3rd and 4 from the 15.
Yeah, holding Penn State to a field goal here after 2 big third down conversions and then a 4th down conversion would be huge.
Clifford gets a snap, looking to throw. Pressure coming, and he's sacked down. Junior Colson gets him this time. That's a big-time loss back to the 24-yard line. A loss of 9 on the play. Hopefully this time Michigan can get off the field and try to block this field goal by Jordan Stout, who's now 1 for 1 in his passing career.
Yeah, and the Wolverine pass rush, I mean, already on this first drive has had numerous pressures and multiple sacks on Clifford. I expect that to continue for the rest of this afternoon, and it's going to be tough sledding for the Nittany Lions if they can't block this Wolverine defensive line.
Michigan does have a blocked field goal on the year. The attempt from Stout. The kick is up, and it is good. Jordan Stout puts the Nittany Lions ahead 3-0. He's now 14 of 19 on the season. And the Nittany Lions lead here in Happy Valley, and that's a good defensive drive from the Wolverines to get them on 3rd down. However, they just have to convert with their 3rd down defense.
Yeah, all things considered, I mean, you get a stop and you force a punt, and then obviously you give up the 4th down conversion on the fake punt. But to still then come out and get a stop, I mean, that's huge for momentum. Penn State converts on a 4th down on a trick play, and then you're still able to prevent them from punching it in for a score. That's just deflating for the Penn State sideline as they have to make a huge play and then are kind of left with more to be desired.
Well, Jordan Stout, who's been a do-it-all guy so far for Penn State, will be kicking it away from the left middle hash at the 35-yard line. Michigan on offense will move left to right. A.J. Henning is deep to return for the Wolverines in place of Blake Corum.
Henning's been deadly this year on punt returns, making a number of big returns against the Spartans a couple weeks ago. Definitely a player with explosiveness.
The ball's now fallen off the tee 2 different times. Penn State will have a holder come in to hold the football for Jordan Stout to kick it away.
Yeah, wind has been howling today at State College. Like you mentioned earlier, snow kind of coming in intermittently.
Yeah, the precipitation stopped for now. Stout will jog up to the ball, put leather through it, and A.J. Henning will point 2 index fingers to the sky. And Michigan will take over on offense from the 25-yard line. And thinking back to 2019, the first drive that the Wolverines had on offense, they had to use a timeout on the first play of scrimmage, or else they would have taken a delay of game.
Yeah.
The Wolverines got to keep an eye on the play clock.
Caden McNamara knows this. He's had experience with a tough atmosphere, but this crowd is getting really loud.
Everyone to their feet here in Happy Valley. The Nittany Lion players on defense urging them on. McNamara in the heavy pistol. Turns, gives a snap to Haskins. There is a penalty flag. It'll be false start.
And
we just talked about it.
You just can't have that happen. You've had this happen to you before. You know this is the environment you're going into. That first play especially, you need to come out and just execute cleanly. That's got to be a scripted play, I'm imagining.
Michigan behind the sticks now on 1st down. 1st and 15, they move left to right. Wolverines have 2 receivers in the game. It's Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson. They're both split out to the left side. McNamara heavy pistol on the right side. Turns, hands off Haskins up the middle. He's met by a couple of Nittany Lions and wrestled down. Jesse Lucchetta on the stop. That'll bring up 2nd down and 12. Give Hassan a gain of 3 on the play. You know who's nice to see back in there on offense is Eric All, who missed the game last week against Indiana after suffering an injury at Michigan State.
Yeah, all had a great game against the Spartans. Glad
Career
to see him
game.
back.
McNamara empty in the gun. 2 up backs, 2 receivers left, 1 receiver to the right. McNamara will drop to throw, looking across the middle. He's got his tight end Schoonmaker, and the referee assisted on the tackle for the Nittany Lions. It's a gain of 3. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Wolverines, 3rd and 9.
Yeah, tough situation for the Wolverines early. Obviously, that false start hurts a lot because now it puts you in a 3rd and long situation. You're forced to pass. Crowds bringing that energy on 3rd down.
In case you can't hear, it is loud at Beaver Stadium. 107,000 plus on their feet right now, urging on the Nittany Lion defense. It's 3rd and 9. Play clock under 10 for the Wolverines, game clock at 8:30. Nittany Lions lead 3-0. McNamara drops to throw, looking across the middle. It's batted up into the air, and it's incomplete. That had danger written all over it for Michigan. They'll be forced to punt. It's a 3 and out on their first drive.
Yeah, and the Wolverines get away with one there. Very lucky. That ball was up in the air for a long time. Very fortunate that it was not intercepted.
Fortunately for the Wolverines on this punt, Brad Robbins was booming punts in pregame, and the wind howling from left to right is going to help him out.
Yeah, field position is going to be very important in a game like this. It's obviously going to be a close game. I believe the Wolverines were favored by a point.
Nice kick by Robbins. Wow. All the way down inside the 20. Dotson's going to grab it. He'll return the ball. He's to the 22-yard line, and he spins out of bounds. Josh Ross was there to pursue him out of bounds. The Nittany Lions will start from the 23-yard line after a fantastic punt from Brad Robbins. And with 8:15 to go in the first quarter, Penn State leads 3-0 over the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, and you talk about flipping the field there. I mean, Robbins with an absolute booming punt, giving the Wolverines good field position defensively.
So how about we take a look across the country and what's going on here today? Games in current action. Now, I don't want to say upset alert, but New Mexico State is beating Alabama right now, 3-0, 7 minutes into the first quarter. So how about the Aggies?
Alabama.
Oklahoma and Baylor are currently at 0-0. Mississippi State visits Auburn. It's a 7-0 game there. Wisconsin, Northwestern are scoreless in Madison. And that's all for the games going on right now. What surprises you out of that? Well, I feel like that's an obvious answer.
Alabama was favored by 51.5 points this weekend against the Aggies of New Mexico State. That's very shocking to me.
Yeah.
It's very. I mean, I know it's early, but
51.5 points is a lot, and I mean a lot to cover for any team, even Alabama. However, later tonight, Maryland does travel to Michigan State. That game will be at 4 o'clock. Michigan State is a 2-touchdown favorite in that one. And then the big one in the Big Ten here today is 19th-ranked Purdue at 4th-ranked Ohio State. Do you see any upset potentially brewing in Columbus this afternoon?
Everyone's been all over the Boilermakers saying this is another potential upset for them. They've already had 2 top 5 wins this year. I think this is Ohio State's going to roll. I mean, Purdue's already had their 2. They've brought out all their trick plays. They've pulled out all the stops. Ohio State's just way more talented. I think OSU rolls.
Now let's jump to the SEC. 11th-ranked Texas A&M travels to face off against Matt Corral and the 15th-ranked Runnin' Rebels of Ole Miss. Little SEC action that does have an impact on the college football playoff. How does that one go down at Ole Miss?
I think that's a great matchup because that Ole Miss offense and with Lane Kiffin and, like you said, Matt Corral, very explosive versus the A&M defense, which just has a monstrous defensive line and just one of the best defenses in the country. I think that's a great matchup overall. I like the Aggies, though.
NC State travels to Wake Forest after the Demon Deacons took their first loss last week at the hands of the Tar Heels of North Carolina. And then one other game I think that we have to look at today is 3rd-ranked Oregon hosting Washington State. The Cougars have had some upsets in the past. Do you see a threat for the Ducks?
I don't know that I trust Oregon fully, but I think they've had their one big upset loss this year, obviously, against Stanford. That was a major upset, so I think they take care of business and come through unscathed.
The Penn State offense has taken the field for their second possession. We'll throw it back a couple minutes. On their first possession, Michigan got them to third down 4 different times. On that the first fourth down that they had, Penn State threw a punt pass and converted on it to score 3 points. Clifford in the shotgun. He pitches out to the left side. He's got his running back, Kayvon Lee. It's a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Pushed out of bounds by Hawkins and Ross.
And this is a pretty much a completely revamped running back room that they've had these this year and last year. I mean, obviously, last year, the COVID year, they had numerous losses in that running back room.
Clifford gets the snap, looks out to the right side. That's Washington trying to get around a screen. He's cut down there by Josh Ross. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4. He picked up 4 on the screen. We've seen that play a couple of times now. Penn State may go back to it. They flip the formation. 4 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Clifford's in the shotgun. Remember, he is a threat to run the football. Ball's at the 29-yard line. Penn State moves from right to left. Clifford gets the snap. Pressure coming from the Wolverines. He steps up in the pocket. Clifford going to run. Ross in pursuit. He's going to get the first down by about half a yard.
Yeah, and they dropped Chris Hinton back into a QB spy there. He still just is not fast enough to track down Clifford, and that's going to be a difference maker if the Wolverines don't have somebody sitting on a spy that can run with Clifford.
First down, Penn State at the 34. Handoff to Lee on the right side. Hutchinson makes the stop. It's a good gain, though, for Lee. Picked up 4, 2nd and 6. Penn State likes to move fast. They're in the shotgun already. Trips to the left, 1 receiver to the right side. That's Dotson. In motion goes Washington. Clifford hands off to Lee, again up the middle. He's got a lot of space to run. Now he cuts it back. He's going to get close to the first down, but I think he's a yard shy. Mozzie Smith and Dex Hill on the stop for the Wolverines. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, when Penn State goes fast, that makes it difficult for the Wolverines to substitute as they're trying to run 2 off here.
Penn State comes out in the shotgun. Clifford on 3rd and 1. Hands off to Lee. Up the middle, he's got the first down. Junior Colson made the stop in the B gap. They needed 1, they got 3. First down, Penn State at the 46.
No huge plays so far for the Nittany Lions. They are a very explosive offense.
Haven't seen a lot of Noah Kane so far for Penn State. Now in the backfield with Clifford is John Lovett. 48 carries for 160 yards coming into today. Ball's at the 46. Penn State moves from right to left. They lead it 3-0. It's a fake pitch. Clifford looking. Now he throws into the flat for Lovett. He's pushed out of bounds by Ross. That's right at the 50-yard line. Mark it as a gain of 4 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 6. That's Lovett's 9th reception on the year. He's used out of the backfield if he has to be.
They're going fast here.
2nd down and 6. Clifford, shotgun, looking. Steps up in the pocket, throws across the middle. It's his tight end, Theo Johnson. Well inside Michigan territory down to the 31-yard line. Sean Clifford is throwing it right now, putting pellets right in the chest of his Penn State offenders.
Yeah, he looks back. He
looks good. To the 31, 1st down and 10, Penn State. Handoff Lovett up the middle, and that's the first really good play by the Michigan defense on this drive, yet they still gained 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, Penn State being unranked in the college football playoff poll rankings, I mean, it's a little deceiving because all of their losses came with Clifford injured or recovering from injury.
There's trips to the right, 1 receiver to the left. Clifford dropping, looking. Now he steps up in the pocket. Clifford's got a lot of room to run inside the 15, and he's tracked down by Junior Colson. Penn State is moving the ball at will right now, especially at the hands of Sean Clifford's legs.
Yeah, they just have no answer for Clifford in running the ball. You have to stick a spy back there. You have to have somebody that can run with him.
18 yards on the play. Clifford steps up in the pocket again. This time he's wrapped down at the 9-yard line. He had the same idea and tried to shoot right up the middle of the Michigan defense. Chris Hinton said, grabbed him down at the 9-yard line. It's still a gain of 1 for Clifford.
Now that you're in the red zone, those scrambles for Clifford become a little tougher because the field's not as spread out. They're going to have to make some plays with his arm or running the ball with the on designed runs.
This is a big run formation for Penn State right now. 2 up backs, 2 tight receivers. The tight ends are Strange and Warren. When Warren's in the game, they love to run the football. Lovett is the running back to the left hip of Clifford. Claps his hands. He will throw. Lots of time. Clifford, back corner of the end zone. It is almost intercepted by Vincent Gray. That would have been a fantastic catch with one hand. He was in coverage of Jahan Dotson. That'll bring up 3rd down and goal from the 9-yard line.
Huge play here for the Wolverines if they can force the Nittany Lions to another field goal. Still keep it a 1-possession game.
4 minutes, 12 seconds to go here in the first quarter. The score is 3-0 Penn State. They empty the backfield. Clifford in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Got a note where Jahan Dotson is. He's in the near slot. Clifford gets a snap. Pressure coming from the Wolverines. Throws to the right side. It's caught. And he's close to the end zone, but I think they're going to call Theo Johnson out of bounds at the 2. The far side official says he was out of bounds. He tried to extend towards the end zone, but they're not going to give him the spot. Yeah. Penn State will bring on the kick team. This might be really lucky for Michigan.
Yeah, and early we've seen a lot of Vincent Gray on Jahan Dotson, and he's done well so far.
He's doing a good job.
Only with 1 catch, I believe, early for 4 yards.
Jordan Stout, who's now 14 of 19 on the year, will look to improve on that from the 2-yard line. Watch for the trickery if you're Michigan. It's a trick play. Stout to the left side. He's got the football, and he's going to be wrapped down. The ball is free. Daxton Hill has it, and so do the Wolverines. There's a flag down on the near sideline, but I think it's going to be excessive celebration on Michigan or a sideline warning.
Yeah, that's...
The holder, Rafael Cheka, flipped it to Jordan Stout, and I think he wanted to throw it to the near side tight end, but the pressure from the Wolverines was too good. It's just a sideline warning on Michigan, so no yardage at the hand of the Michigan sideline, but how about that? They needed a stop. The score remains 3-0 with 3:29 to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, so the trickery gets one for Penn State the first time. This time Michigan gets them back. I don't know. That's a tough call to make, I think, if you're James Franklin. You have a chance to go up 6. Instead, you sacrifice the 3 points. I think if you're going to go for it, just go for it. Leave your offense out on the field. You're at the 2-yard line. You've been moving the ball at will. Punch it in.
You know, at this point of the game, about 12 minutes in, you would think that Jordan Stout was a 5-star athlete recruit.
I mean, yeah, he's doing everything.
He's been used to throw. He's been used to run. And he's also 1 for 1 on field goals, and he's also kicked the ball off.
Huge stop for the Wolverine defense there, obviously, though. I mean, and then the fumble at the end, getting 15, 20 yards extra, give the offense good field position.
And if it wasn't for Cheka, the holder, that's a touchdown. Daxton Hill has obvious speed, and he could have gotten to the end zone with ease. But right when he picked up the football, Cheka was there to make the stop. Well, the Michigan offense has to do their job and try and move the ball down the field. Their first drive resulted in a 3-and-out.
Clearly, Penn State is doing all they can to win this game, pulling out all the stops. They're 6-3. They are essentially eliminated from college football playoff contention. They're probably out of the Big Ten championship contention. So what do you have to lose other than spoiling a team like Michigan's chances at either of those opportunities? Why not go all out?
And you may have heard it, the fans here in Happy Valley were not happy with James Franklin's decision to go with the field goal. And he said, "Do I got a surprise for you?" James Franklin's done a wonderful job with this program, keeping Penn State above all else here in the Big Ten. Won Big Ten championship in 2016.
A lot of speculation on where he might be going this offseason, if he'll be staying here in Happy Valley or if he'll be off to USC or LSU.
There's been a lot of rumors lately about Big Ten coaches and the success that they've had. You can name them: Mel Tucker, James Franklin. Obviously the two top candidates for a potential job offer somewhere else.
Yeah, the Spartans, rumor has it that they're going to be they are trying to bring back Tucker with a huge extension. And
well, if I were the athletic director, I would too.
I'd hand him a blank check and say, pick your salary. Whatever you want, we'll make it happen. I mean, he's doing a great job over there in East Lansing.
Michigan will take the field on offense. They'll start at the 29-yard line. It'll be the same personnel they had on the first drive. 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, and a running back. It's Haskins.
Got to get the running game going.
And it would help if you started in front of the sticks.
Yeah.
They took a false start on the first play and got themselves behind them. They had it 1st and 15 and couldn't catch up. 1st down and 10. McNamara in the shotgun. The pistol is Haskins. Hands off Haskins up the middle, juking his way forward, and he's finally taken down. That's a gain of 4 on the play. Continued to drive his legs. Changelo made the stop for Penn State.
Only 1 completion so far for the Wolverine offense. It's I mean, well noted how difficult it is to pass against the Nittany Lions.
Roman Wilson in an orbit motion. An odd snap. Now McNamara throws left. There's a flag down. Referees blow it dead. Preliminary call looks like false start on the Wolverines. The call's on the center, Andrew Vastardis. Michigan behind the sticks again. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Their second false start penalty in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know what to say. That's tough to, in a situation like this, you just can't be behind the sticks like that. You need to not make mental mistakes in an environment that's very hostile.
3-0 Penn State, 2:55 to go in the first quarter. McNamara in the shotgun, Haskins is to his right. He gets the snap, looks to throw across the middle, it's complete. Eric All, he's past the 30 and up to the 32-yard line.
Great job by Cade, hanging in the pocket there.
Pressure was coming off the left edge by Arnold Ebekete.
Yeah, he took a lick after that one, but still delivered the throw.
It'll be 3rd down and 6 yards to go for the Wolverines. They have yet to get a first down in this ball game. They split their receivers, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Sainer still now in motion to the right side. Haskins is the back. McNamara the quarterback in the shotgun. He stands at his own 28-yard line. He gets the snap, drops to throw, looks, throws, and it's dropped. The pass was intended for Sainer still. It bounced in the air. Schoonmaker couldn't come down with it. And then Penn State's Jaquan Brisker had a chance to intercept the ball, but now Michigan will be forced to punt it away. 2 straight 3-and-outs for the Wolverines.
Yeah, obviously not an ideal start offensively for the Wolverines. You have to find some kind of rhythm. You got to get something going because they just haven't been able to make anything happen on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously the defense holding early and keeping them in this game, but they can't hold forever.
Brad Robbins will punt for the Wolverines. Deep to return for Penn State is Jahan Dotson. Good kick. Spiraling down inside the 20. Dotson calls for a fair catch. Ball trickles inside the 10, and it's caught there by Sainer still. He dropped the ball, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. The ball should have been down at the 1-yard line, and Penn State's going to get lucky here. The referees are going to come and talk to each other. Sainer still had the ball inside the 5.
He took a couple steps too.
And then threw it behind his back as if to keep it alive. If he would have just stood there, it would have been down inside the 5-yard line.
I think his momentum was carrying him into the end zone. He was trying to get rid of it, but yeah, it's a little confusing.
Nonetheless, it'll be 1st down and 10 for Penn State.
Those are just the little things that can really have a big impact on the game. I mean, starting at the 20 versus inside the 2 is a huge difference maker for your defense.
I think they're going to take a look at this, and out come the review cameras. Jim Harbaugh pleading his case on the near sideline that ball was caught by Mikey Sainris still inside the 5. They're showing it up on the big board. Dotson called for a fair catch. Sainris still had 3 feet inside the 5-yard line, then tried to throw it back. I think that should be down inside the 5-yard line, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, he took multiple steps with the ball like firmly in his hands. It was not like some of those plays where you see them just trying to bat it back to save it in. He had possession and took multiple steps.
So as we're taking a look at this, we'll give you a quick game recap. The first drive, Penn State converted on 3 consecutive third downs, and they also converted on a 4th down on a pass from their punter to one of the flybacks on the left side. Here's the call. And the ball will be downed at the 2-yard line, so Mike Sainris still downs a beautiful punt from Brad Robbins, and Penn State will lose 23 yards of field position because of that call.
It's a big review for the Wolverines to get to go their way. 18-yard difference in field position. Penn State now backed up, obviously, in their own end zone. Really changes the play calling.
Kayvon Lee is the back for Clifford in the shotgun. He stands at the S in Penn State in his own end zone. Ball's at the 2-yard line. Clifford, there's a false start. No penalty flag or no whistle. The ball's up in the air and it's incomplete. And Jim Harbaugh is going crazy on the near sideline calling for a false start. Kayvon Lee obviously took a step before the snap was there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's either 2nd down and 10 or 2nd down and 11, or rather 1st down and 11.
Yeah, honestly, I think if you're the Wolverines, you definitely would rather have 2nd down and 10.
Clifford in the shotgun. Kayvon Lee is the back. 2 receivers split out wide to each side. Fakes the handoff to Lee. It's Dotson on the right side. He's going to be brought down by Gray, but he got the 1st down to the 14-yard line. It was a quick hitch route to Dotson, and he got up the field. He's that quick.
Yeah, the Wolverines showing a lot of cushion on Dotson there, giving him the underneath stuff, just terrified of his downfield plays.
Clifford hands off up the middle. Kayvon Lee is brought down by Chris Hinton. That's a great play by number 15 up in the middle. It'll be 2nd down and 12, a loss of 2. Aiden Hutchinson also in on the stop for Michigan.
2-yard loss to the 12-yard line. 2nd and 12 for the Nittany Lions.
If the Wolverine defense can hold Penn State down here, give the offense some good field position, maybe that'll jumpstart something on the other side.
Just over a minute to go in the first quarter. Clifford looks for a screen to the right side. It's complete to Dotson. Dotson's got space, and he's brought down at the 25-yard line. That's a really nice spot given to him by the far side official, and there's a Wolverine down on the field. I think that's Daxton Hill. As Aiden Hutchinson crouches over him, they'll take a look at Dax. And that's one loss you cannot take if you're the Michigan defense.
Yeah, already banged up secondary. That's one of your key guys back there.
Penn State back-to-back 1st downs on back-to-back plays. And with 1:01 to go here in the first quarter, they lead it 3-0. A field goal by Jordan Stout and a lot of creativity by James Franklin has put the Nittany Lions in the lead.
But really, Wolverines have been lucky. I mean, that this isn't a 10-0 game with that stop on the 4th down fake field goal. I still don't understand why Franklin wouldn't just leave his offense out on the field. I feel like that gives you a much better chance to score. You've already made one trick play. The Wolverines are keyed into that. You've moved the ball all the way down the field. Why not just leave him out there and see if they can get 2 more yards?
That's not Daxton Hill down. That's the freshman from Tennessee. That's Junior Colson that was on the ground for Michigan. He has had a big season.
Yeah, still not a guy you want to lose. He's, like you said, had a huge impact on this defense as a freshman.
And a tremendous future as well.
Absolutely.
With him out, we'll see a lot of Nakai Hill-Green and Michael Barrett. But now Penn State has their field position back that they would have had if the review wouldn't have stood. First down and 10 for the Nittany Lions at the 25-yard line. Ball's placed on the right hash. Penn State moves from right to left. 1:01 to go in the first quarter, 3-0 Penn State. Clifford in the shotgun. He stands at his own 20. The back is the Baylor transfer, John Lovett. Dotson now moves in motion to the right side to join a trips formation. Handoff. Lovett up the middle. Not brought down on first contact, but Mike Morris finishes the tackle after a gain of 4. The offensive line for Penn State is getting a lot of movement on run plays, but the passing is where the issues have been for Penn State in long dropbacks. Michigan's just had tremendous pressure in the face of the redshirt senior.
And luckily for Penn State, Clifford's been able to kind of alleviate a lot of that with his legs.
4 receivers split out to the left side. The running back is Lovett. Clifford now goes to a check with me with his offensive line. 5 yards behind the center, Miranda. Clifford gets the snap. Handoff to the right side. It's Lovett. He's brought down by Nakai Hill-Green, who just checked into the game for Junior Colson. The Wolverine defense keyed in on Clifford on the read, and Lovett kept it around the right end for another Penn State first down at the 39. Clock hits zeros here in the first quarter. The score, Penn State 3, Michigan 0. And as you've touched on multiple times now, the Wolverines are lucky this game is only 3-0.
Yeah, Penn State driving now for the third time this game only through the first quarter. I mean, they have the yardage totals up on the screen right now, 145-15. The Nittany Lions have outgained the Wolverines. That does not bode well for the rest of this game.
And another thing for Michigan, possession time. The Wolverines have only had the ball for 3 minutes and 18 seconds of that first quarter. Penn State had it for 11 minutes and 42 seconds. And Michigan, when it comes to time of possession, they rank 11th in the NCAA. They average about 32 minutes and 38 seconds. 11th in the NCAA and 3rd total in the Big Ten. The script has been flipped today in Happy Valley.
Yeah, it's tough to win a football game when you don't have the ball. It's tough to put up points without the ball, and that's just like you said, it's against what the Wolverines are comfortable doing and what they like to do. They like to pound the football with the running game and run out that clock, and they just can't do that when they can't get anything going, and the Penn State Nittany Lions have the ball.
Media timeout here as the first quarter came to a close. I'd say as we look across the crowd in this helmet striped game, which looks exactly like Penn State's helmet, except with the scattered maze here and there, the Michigan faithful did show up in quite a quantity again as they continue to show out on the road.
Yeah, I mean, we had to walk through much of the tailgate scene to get up to the game from where we parked, and there were a lot of Michigan tents, Michigan fans walking around. It was great to see all the Michigan faithful out here. But I know it's a bit of a drive out.
And take a look across the rest of the Big Ten in action going on right now. Wisconsin's taken a 14-0 lead over Northwestern with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. And then in Bloomington, Indiana currently trails Rutgers 17-0. So a tough season for Indiana, and of course when you lose your 2 starting quarterbacks, that's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, that definitely really hinders your ceiling and floor as a team when your first 2 quarterbacks on the depth chart go down. I mean, it's just, at that point, the season's kind of a wash. The quarterback position is just obviously so important.
Especially with a quarterback like Michael Penix Jr., who almost led him to a Big Ten East championship last season. Ohio State ended up getting the edge over the Hoosiers, eventually knocking off Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, Penix was electric last year. I mean, he's a guy that definitely can make plays with his legs and his arm, but he got banged up a lot early this season and then was forced to try to rely on his arm, and that's just not the type of player he is, and it really hindered his season.
Elsewhere throughout the Big Ten, we've already mentioned Maryland at Michigan State and Purdue at Ohio State. The only other Big Ten game today, there's no night games, Minnesota travels to play the 20th ranked Hawkeyes of Iowa in what should be a big game and big stakes in the Big Ten West. We'll begin the second quarter with Penn State having the ball at the 39-yard line. Ball's placed at the right hash. The Nittany Lions move from left to right, going into their own student section. They begin with John Lovett as the running back.
First and 10 for the Nittany Lions.
Lovett has 4 carries for 17 yards so far and a long of 10. It was the final play of the first quarter. In motion goes Theo Johnson. He returns to his original spot. Now in motion goes Lovett. Clifford looking, got a screen man, and he's brought down immediately by Josh Ross and Chris Hinton. That was the tight end Johnson. He lost one on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11.
And the guys on the defensive line up front, I mean, they have been making plays all day. Obviously, multiple sacks on Clifford in that first quarter. They've been bringing pressure and stuffing the run well. It's just been, once they've been able to break past that defensive line, Nittany Lions have had a lot of success.
Washington in motion for the Nittany Lions. He joins the left side. Clifford's in the shotgun. Lovett to his right. Calling an audible, now returns. He now gets the snap. He wants to throw. He'll step up in the pocket, look towards the far side. The pass is incomplete. He wanted Washington. Daxton Hill was in coverage for the Wolverines, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, potentially a little miscommunication there. Looked like Clifford maybe wanted him to keep going on that route. Washington cuts it off.
Nittany Lions go fast. Clifford stepping up in the pocket. He's going to be brought down by Hutchinson. The ball is free, but it looks like the Nittany Lions jumped back on it. Nonetheless, that should get Michigan off the field. Hutchinson went right around Caden Wallace and made a fantastic play to knock the ball free from Clifford's hands.
I mean, yeah, that's just what he's done all season, is make plays like that for the Wolverines. That's why he's going to be an early draft pick come NFL draft season this spring. One of the best players in the country, Aiden Hutchinson.
13:30 to go in the second quarter. Penn State leads 3-0. Deep to return, Stout's kick is A.J. Henning. It's a good kick, spiraling inside the 15. It clunks inside the 5, and it just dies down, takes a Michigan hop, comes back to the 10-yard line, but it's still a wonderful punt by Jordan Stout, and that's where Michigan will start.
Stout, like you mentioned earlier, doing it all now. Kicking field goals, throwing passes, pinning the Wolverines inside their own 10. Takes a little golf swing celebration after the punt.
56 yards officially on the punt for Jordan Stout. Michigan on offense has had 2 3-and-outs, and this is their worst starting field position, backed up at their own 10-yard line.
Right up against the student section. Student section's getting loud.
They move right to left. McNamara turns, hands off Haskins to the left side, trying to get away from defenders, breaks the first tackle, and he gains a yard. He got lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he picked up 1.
Yeah, this Penn State defense is very athletic. They're very talented, and they have just been flying all over the field making plays. Nothing going early for the Wolverines.
Tar Burton, the redshirt junior from Green Lane, Pennsylvania, made the stop. Henning was on the left side, now goes in motion to the right. Trips to the right for the Wolverines. McNamara will drop to throw. Looking across the middle, it's caught by Cornelius Johnson. He goes backwards to get extra yardage to the 15-20. 25-30, 35. That's a great pickup by the Wolverines. He's marked out at the 33-yard line. That's where the Jordan shoe hit the chalk on the far sideline. First down for the Wolverines, their first of the day.
Yeah, great yards after catch by Cornelius Johnson there. The Wolverines receivers, a lot of guys that specialize in that yak.
He got around the talented outside linebacker Curtis Jacobs. First down for the Wolverines at the 33. McNamara hands off Haskins up the middle. Not a lot of space to run again. He gets past the 35 and up to the 36-yard line. It's a gain of 3. Tangelo made the stop for the Nittany Lions. Ball's now at the 36-yard line.
I think the Wolverines got to try to get the ball into some of their talented receivers' hands. Let Andrell Anthony make some plays with the football. Let Mike Sandersill make some plays with the football.
He's in the game, split out wide to the left is Anthony. McNamara gets the snap. He wants to throw. Stepping up in the pocket. Pressure comes and he's sacked. Arnold Ebekete made the stop for the Nittany Lions. It's his 8th sack of the season. It'll bring up 3rd and 13 for Michigan.
And, I mean, if you're the Wolverines, this is just obviously not an ideal situation, but especially now. Behind the sticks, you haven't been able to get anything going offensively in your own territory.
The Navy and White faithful all on their feet here in Happy Valley, urging on the Nittany Lion defense. 3rd and 13 for Michigan. Ball's at the 30-yard line. They move right to left. McNamara gets the snap. He's going to throw. It's a screen to Haskins left side. He's got to run fast. He gets to the 35, to the 40-yard line. He's got the first down up towards the 45. He got a key block from Andrew Vastardis, and it results in a Michigan first down.
Yeah, that's getting the ball in the hands of your playmakers and just letting them go to work. Get them in space. Son Haskins bouncing off of tacklers, falling forward for that first down.
That's what he does best. 18 yards on the play for the Wolverines. 10:45 to go in the second quarter. Michigan checks a new running back into the game for the first time. It's Donovan Edwards. He replaces Blake Corum after his injury last week. It's a handoff to Edwards. He surveys the line of scrimmage and he's brought down after a gain of 1. Keaton Ellis made the stop.
Edwards is a guy, like I mentioned earlier, he's going to be one that needs to step up for the Wolverines if they want to win this football game. No Corum, one of their most explosive offensive weapons. Edwards definitely fits that line of explosiveness. Big
You
play
talk about
capability.
explosiveness. Michigan may need a couple of explosive touchdowns in this game as the Penn State defense has held opponents without a score in 12 out of 34 red zone possessions this season. McNamara hands off Edwards to the right side. He falls down, tripped forward for a gain of 2. If he was brought down by anybody, it was Brandon Smith, the team leader in tackles. 3rd down and 7 for the Wolverines. They're nearing Penn State territory. The ball will be at the 48-yard line for this next snap.
A lot of 3rd downs for the Wolverines early in this game. Again, I think you got to look for some of your weapons on the outside. Sandersill, Andrell Anthony.
107,000 to their feet here in State College. Michigan got a man to jump off sides. It's a free play. McNamara looking down the seam. It's incomplete. Pushed out of bounds was Andrell Anthony. There's no flag on the near side, and Jim Harbaugh's not pleased with that.
Yeah, the official throwing his hat. So I think they might be saying
Marking that he went out of bounds.
Yeah, stepped out of bounds. Sandersill had a step on his man streaking down the field.
He was open.
Yeah.
Keziah Izzard is the guilty party on the false start on the defense. Anthony was covered by Kelin King. Him and his twin brother, Kobe King, both from Detroit, Michigan, both attended Castag High School, were big targets for the Wolverines. Decided to go play for James Franklin at Penn State. The 3rd down is much more manageable now for Michigan. Inside Penn State territory for the first time. Handoff goes to Haskins to the left side. Cuts forward, he's short. He maybe got half a yard. Kelin King made the stop. It's 4th down and 2.
This is definitely that area of the field where analytics show this is where you go for it on 4th down.
Michigan will bring in a heavy set. Eric All, Trente Jones, Luke Schoonmaker, and Joel Honingford. 4th down and 2.
This is your
no
calling
wide
card.
receivers.
If you're the Wolverines, this is your calling card.
Gets the snap, hands off Haskins, spinning away. He's not going to get the first down. It's close. The referees may give it to him. I think they gave him a good spot.
Yeah, he got nice extension at the end there.
First down, Michigan. Wow.
He stayed up on the back of somebody. I couldn't tell who it was, but he was able to reach out that arm with the ball.
The extension barely got it for Hassan. He reached out at the last possible second. Well, they needed 2. They got 2 and 1 inch. First down, Michigan at the 45, inside Penn State territory. 8:15 to go in the second quarter. McNamara will throw. Steps up in the pocket with pressure coming. The ball flutters out, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Roman Wilson, but the ball was batted down from behind from an incoming pursuer of Cade McNamara.
Yeah, Joey Porter just played that like a center fielder, the Penn State corner, just chasing after it, hoping to reel in an interception after that was released.
Pressure came from Brandon Smith. He was looking for his 3rd sack on the year. He has 2. Second down and 10 for Michigan from the 45, moving from right to left. Ball's on the left hash. McNamara with Haskins to his right. Fakes the handoff to him. He's got a step free. The pass is caught by Andrell Anthony Jr. It's a first down for the Wolverines up to the 31.
Big catch by the freshman there. Able to reel that one in through traffic and fall forward for a few more yards in the first down.
I'll tell you what, Anthony took that right from the hands of Kelin King. He was looking for his first pick. Instead, Anthony brought it right back into his chest, made a nice catch. And McNamara says thank you for that one. Ball's at the 32 after the official marking. Cade will throw, rolls out to the right side. He's got his receiver, Haskins. He cuts it back up towards the 25, and that's where he's marked down. Michigan on a good possession here.
Yeah, finally getting the ball moving offensively, and it's not with the ground game. It's through the arm of Cade McNamara.
Arguably the best defensive player for Penn State, Ellis Brooks, made the stop on Haskins. 7 yards on the play at 2nd and 3. For now, 107,000 quieted here in Happy Valley. Michigan moving away from the daunted student section of the Penn State Nittany Lions. On 2nd and 3, play clock at 5. McNamara's got to go fast. They get the snap off. Handoff goes to Haskins up the middle. He cuts it back up. And I think he's going to be short by just a yard. He picked up 2. Devon Ellies on the tackle for Penn State. 3-0 Nittany Lions. 6:40 to go in the second quarter.
And the Wolverines finally giving themselves manageable 3rd down here. Whole playbook's open. You can run the ball, throw the ball.
Well, what do you think they're going to do here with 4 tight ends in the game? I'd put my money on run.
Yeah, I'd bet run too.
Yeah, it's a run. Right up the middle. Haskins into a pile of defenders. He got the first down. Needed just a couple of feet. I think he picked up 3 officially. And Hassan Haskins continues to work for extra yardage. He'll be subbed out by Donovan Edwards.
Yeah, he's just a big body, tough to bring down. He falls forward for those extra yards. And when it is those tight situations, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, he's really, really solid at picking up those necessary yards and moving the chains.
A career game in yardage last week, 168 yards. Streaking down the far sidelines, James Franklin. He'll call timeout. That'll be Penn State's first of the half. Michigan driving. Ball at the 22-yard line. They have it first down and 10. And what a drive they've had so far. With 5:54 to go in the second quarter, Penn State leads 3-0 here in Happy Valley.
Yeah, Franklin saw something he really didn't like there because he came, like you said, streaking down the sideline to get a stoppage and play there. But the Wolverines' offense, this is what we're more accustomed to seeing, them moving the ball down the field, making plays, converting on 3rd downs, running the ball when they need not as they need to, running the ball effectively, and letting their quick, shifty receivers make plays with the ball in their hands. Like Harbaugh and Gaddis have stressed so much, that speed and space type of player.
And you know they love that speed of space concept, especially when number 2 was on the field. Blake Corum didn't make the trip to State College. Would have been his first appearance here at Penn State. The Wolverines would love to have Corum back as soon as they can, along with a couple of other pieces, including talented cornerback Jamon Green, who left last week's game with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, and I mean, every game is a must-win game for the Wolverines with their aspirations for this season. I mean, it's not like they're holding these guys out because they can afford to or just on the side of caution. they need to win all these games, and this is a big one here on the road in a hostile environment at Penn State.
There's been a small argument that if Michigan wins this game here today in this hostile environment at Penn State, they have almost, and I put emphasis on the word almost, scratched their ticket to a New Year's Six Bowl. And of course, you don't want to look past the Terrapins next week in Talia Tagovailoa. However, you certainly have to worry about the Nittany Lions first.
Yeah, I mean, Maryland is an offense that's explosive, but I mean, they've been handled by most of the better teams in the conference.
And this hasn't been a fun place to play for anybody, for that matter. 6-6 all time are the Wolverines in Beaver Stadium. But as far as FBS winning percentage at home goes, Penn State is 6th all time, 303 and 78 here at Beaver Stadium. And as you can hear them yell, we are Penn State. 107,000 is the second largest stadium in the country, right behind
the Big House.
The Big House in Ann Arbor. You guessed it.
Big first down here for the Wolverines. Gotta set yourself up for success on second down, or I mean, obviously, ideally punch one in for a score here. But like you mentioned earlier, this Penn State red zone defense has been very stout, and it won't be easy for the Wolverines to punch one in.
I'll go back over that statistic. Penn State's defense has held opponents without a score in 12 of 34 red zone possessions this season. You hear 12 of 34, you're like, that's not that great, until you actually play against them. McNamara steps up in the pocket to throw, looking across the middle. Touchdown, Michigan! It's Roman Wilson on a 21-yard strike, his first touchdown of his Michigan career.
Yeah, make that 12 of 35. What a strike from McNamara, right down the middle of the defense. Great route run by Roman Wilson. Great throw. The Wolverines take the lead.
Jake Moody will be on to attempt the extra point for Michigan. And if you look strictly at the stat book so far in this game, without looking at the score, you'd be like, wait, Michigan's winning this football game?
Yeah.
The kick from number 13's up, and it's good. Michigan leads 7-3 with 5:49 to go here in the second quarter. How about that? Response from the Wolverines.
Jake Moody obviously knocking it through, one of the best kickers in the country. Fan favorite. Money Moody, as many like to say. Student section also often chanting his name on extra points and kickoffs and field goals.
Might as well be worth reviewing the last time the Michigan faced off against Penn State here in Beaver Stadium. And that was a really close game. However, not at first. Penn State led that game 21-0 before the Wolverines came all the way back and was within one possession of the Nittany Lions. They were down 8. And Ronnie Bell, one of the most sure-handed receivers that Michigan's had in past years, a ball hit him in the chest and bounced right through his legs, right in the end zone where the student section lives for Penn State. And it was a heartbreaker. We saw the emotion from Ronnie Bell, a viral picture that went around of Ronnie. And, well, we hope that he comes back and eventually gets his revenge against Penn State next season.
Yeah, obviously this is a game that he definitely had circled on the calendar and was looking forward to being back here and making a statement. But he's definitely excited to see his brothers out here making plays and leading this game early.
Take a look back at that drive. 15 plays, 90 yards, and took 7 minutes and 30 seconds off of the clock. We talked about the time of possession factor in this game. Penn State was absolutely dominating TLP until that Michigan possession. And you look back at that series, what do you think was the most important play or most impressive thing that the Wolverines did to finally get into the end zone?
Well, I think it was the Cornelius Johnson play early in the drive where he's able to make a man miss and pick up a huge chunk of yards. That was the Wolverines' first big play, and they were finally able to get something going offensively.
Of course, the Wolverines also had 4th down and 2, in which they looked like they may be short, but they gave Hassan Haskins the yardage by just a couple of inches.
Yeah, Haskins on multiple carries, converting, moving the chains. Like you mentioned, that 4th and 2, and then that 3rd and 1 earlier to set up the touchdown pass from McNamara. That's just what he does. He moves the chains.
They converted on all 3 3rd down attempts, and also they were 1 for 1 on 4th down attempts on that drive. Perhaps most impressively, the 3rd and 13 play on the screen to Hassan Haskins, who spun away from one defender and eventually earned the 1st down.
Yeah, just giving it to your best players and letting them make plays in space is never a bad formula for any offense, especially one such as the Wolverines that's loaded with guys that can make plays with the ball in their hands.
Jake Moody will kick off for Michigan. Deep to return for Penn State is John Lovett.
Wolverines' coverage unit's been pretty solid this year.
Well, it's easy when you've got a guy that kicks the ball through the end zone on every single kickoff. Moody's touchback percentage has been great this season, and this will be another one. Ball lands into the far end zone, and Penn State will begin at the 25-yard line, trailing for the first time today. Michigan 7, Penn State 3 here at Beaver Stadium with 5:49 to go in the first half.
You mentioned earlier that the Wolverines are lucky that if you look at the box score, you'd be shocked to see the Wolverines winning this game. And yeah, it is shocking. They should not be winning this game just if you look at the numbers, but their defense have been able to make multiple stops in their own side of the field, and their offense, instead of kicking field goals, comes away with a touchdown.
They've been bend, don't break all afternoon so far. Clifford in the shotgun, he's alone. Looks across the middle. Ball's batted up into the air, and it's incomplete. Looked like Mozzie Smith got his big mitten on the football. 2nd down and 10. Sean Clifford today has been also efficient. 10 for 15, 86 yards, but also 10 carries for 26 yards. He's been the difference maker in moving the ball down the field for Penn State.
And the Penn State Nittany Lions making a substitution, so they got to let the Wolverines make some as well.
Upshaw was late getting off the field, and the referee, thankfully for Michigan, said, hold on, guys. Clifford in the shotgun. Reads, hands off, up the middle to Lee, and he's wrestled down after a gain of 2. Mozzie Smith again. 2nd down, turns into 3rd down, 8 yards to go.
That Wolverine D-line playing strong. Batting down passes, stuffing the run.
Penn State found out really quick that they're not going to have a lot of time to throw the football. Clifford was hit twice, very hard on that first drive, and ever since it's been quick get-offs.
Yeah,
for Clifford and Penn State.
I expect more screens in this game.
Michigan jumbling around on the defensive line. Lovett is the running back. He's to the right of Clifford in the shotgun. 3 receivers now to the right side. Clifford will throw. Looking for the wheel pattern on the right side. It's incomplete. John Lovett had it right over the shoulder. He had beaten Junior Colson, who returns from injury, and that'll bring up 4th down. Michigan got lucky that John Lovett lost the football in the air.
Yeah, that was a drop in the bucket from Sean Clifford. Perfect back shoulder throw into his hands. Huge stop for the Wolverines there.
Jordan Stout will come back out onto the field to punt it away. He's had himself a day so far. And you'd hope A.J. Henning, who stands back at his own 19-yard line, will field this one and give Michigan better field position. The kick is away from Stout, working with the wind. Pressure coming from Penn State. Henning has the football, and he slips down at the 13-yard line. He got away from the tackler at first, but then he tried to juke back up the field, and he slipped down inside the 15. So technically it is better field position than the last time Michigan had the ball. It's at the 12 rather than the 10.
And, Zach, you were down on the field pregame, and you said to me when you came up here, this field is very slippery. I mean, it's showing right now. A lot of precipitation in the air, and that could have something to do with it, but Henning just kind of slipping there, losing his footing. But is it just me, or has the momentum in this game started to turn a little bit.
It's tilting just a little bit in favor of Michigan. Of course, now that they have the lead, the offense has that chip on their shoulder, that confidence that they'll be able to use to try and move the ball down the field. Remember, on their first 2 offensive drives, they didn't have a first down.
No, they couldn't get anything going, but that drive was huge for their confidence. Let the coaching staff see what's working, find ways to poke holes in this talented Penn State defense.
And although it was a clean break for Gaddis and Penn State, you'd think maybe this is a revenge game of sorts. They've lost the last 2 against the Nittany Lions, and this one also important with seemingly everything on the line for Michigan. Every game now is do or die, and they want to set up a championship game in Ann Arbor against the Buckeyes of Columbus.
Yeah, I mean, that's the type of expectations that this team and this program and this fan base, this university has. They, like they say in all the home game videos, championship football. And that's what the Wolverines are looking to do this season. And it all starts right here.
Michigan's touchdown pass on the last drive from McNamara to Wilson. Roman Wilson had a fantastic game against Wisconsin, then went absent for 2 weeks with an injury, and it helped out that Michigan had the bye. But he had surgery on his wrist, was wearing a brace and then a cast for a little while, and it's nice to see him back and having an impact for Michigan's offense. He's a guy that isn't as talented as Jahan Dodson, but plays in a similar way to if he gets in space, he can find that little crease, and McNamara found that crease and hit him for a Michigan touchdown.
Yeah, great route runner, able to make people miss. Not necessarily like elite speed, but definitely very quick, very shifty, and makes a big play for the Wolverines. Michigan's receiving core primarily made up of some of those smaller, shiftier guys that they've been more actively targeting and recruiting to make big plays. Not as many of the big-bodied players. Though Cornelius Johnson's pretty tall.
Yeah, he is their biggest receiver. Stands at 6'3". The next tallest is 6'2". That's Dalen Baldwin, the transfer. Michigan back on offense. They start at the 12-yard line, moving from right to left. Haskins is the back to the right of McNamara. No J.J. McCarthy yet for Michigan. McNamara pointing, 15 seconds on the play clock. He gets the snap, he's going to throw. Steps up in the pocket, throws complete to Haskins. He's past the 15, dives forward to the 19 and 20-yard line. Man, Hassan Haskins just picks up all the yardage that he can. It looked like that was going to be a 2 or 3 yard gain, and he found his way all the way to the 20 for an 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, he gets hit, and then he just keeps his legs driving, keeps them churning, and picks up about 5 more yards. And that's an interesting point you made of no J.J. McCarthy so far. Typically, we'll have seen him by now.
Didn't see him in the first quarter against Indiana last week. Handoff Haskins up the middle. He's got the first down and a couple more. He picked up 4 up to the 24-yard line. On the stop for the last 2 plays was Brandon Smith.
And this possession looks a lot better than those first 2. Much more like that third possession. Just way more confident, moving the football.
2 tight ends in the game for Michigan, 2 receivers. The running back is Haskins. Eric All acts as the up back in the heavy pistol. Handoff, Haskins, he's got space. Up to the 30, 35, continues to chug his legs forward to the 40-yard line. He flexes a little bit. First down, Michigan. That's a big-time pickup from 25.
I mean, we just can't say it enough. It takes multiple players to bring him down, and he's not going to go down when you first hit him. You need to hit him multiple yards behind the sticks to prevent him from picking up first downs because he just keeps those legs churning.
Smith and Brooks on the stop for Penn State. And you're right, Hassan Haskins, 6'1", 220 pounds of straight muscle in that number 25 uniform. It's a flea flicker. McNamara will look, throws down the sideline. He wanted Andrell Anthony. There's a flag down. Michigan deserves that pass interference, and they got it.
Yeah, Anthony.
He was cut off by Curtis Jacobs, and that's who they're going to get for the pass interference.
Anthony turning to make a play on the ball, just gets bumped.
And the Penn State faithful doesn't like it, but that's the right call.
Yeah, I mean, the defender prevented Andrell Anthony from making a play on that ball, and you just can't do that.
It's a 14-yard penalty and an automatic first down for the Wolverines, all the way up to the Penn State 46, inside PSU territory for only the second time this afternoon. 3:12 on the clock. Michigan leads 7-3. In motion goes Wilson. He's to the right side. Now he orbits back to the left. A reverse. Henning to the right side. He's got a couple blocks. He has to get outside a defender to the 50, and he's going to lose a couple yards. It's a loss of 4. Brisker made the stop for Penn State. He got a block from Schoonmaker. However, there was no other blockers out there for Michigan. We've seen that play go a long way, 78 yards against Northern Illinois for a touchdown. This time it loses 4. Michigan behind the 6 again, second down and 14. McNamara in the shotgun. Trips wide to the left. One receiver is tight to the right, that's Johnson. He has one catch. Haskins is the running back. Michigan at the 50-yard line. McNamara will throw. It's a quick throw to the right side. It's incomplete. He wanted Johnson. King in coverage again. The freshman getting a lot of playing time for Penn State today.
Yeah, interestingly, the safety tandem for Penn State they haven't really made too many plays. Castro Fields and Jaquan Brisker haven't made too much of an impact. Two of the better Penn State defenders.
It'll be third down and 14 for Michigan. 2:21 to go in the first half. The Wolverines lead 7-3. McNamara in the shotgun, claps his hands, does not get the snap. Looks towards the offensive play callers, and there's a timeout on the field. And it is a Michigan timeout. It took a while for the crew of referees and Michael Cannon to get the call to Beaver Stadium. Nonetheless, it's Michigan's second charge timeout. They'll have one remaining with 2:21 to go here in the second quarter, where the Wolverines lead it 7-3 here in Beaver Stadium. Now you figure third down 14, Kelin. What do you think the Wolverines are going to go here with? Do you think they're going to try and get past the sticks? Or do you think they're going to try and get up towards the 40-yard line and try and potentially go for it on fourth down or test the leg of Jake Moody?
Well, last time they went with a screen pass to Hassan Haskins, and that was very successful. I think a screen is something we should definitely look for. I don't think they'll go to Haskins again, but I think a screen to one of those receivers like Roman Wilson or Sandersill, I could see that happening. I also like Eric All. If you can get him in the middle of that defense where he thrived against the Spartans, that could be something the Wolverines look to target. Otherwise, maybe it's just a simple draw play and you look to pick up some yardage, maybe get into field goal range or potentially go for it on fourth down.
And I'll tell you what's also helped the Wolverines a couple of times this season that's been open. They haven't necessarily hit it, but the tight end seam route has been open quite a few times for Michigan, and they haven't used it. One of the times they did try to use it, however, was the final play against Michigan State, which was intercepted by Charles Brantley. It was intended for Luke Schoonmaker. He was open. However, McNamara missed him by just a second or two. Defensive coordinator Brent Pry, the 51-year-old, played football at Buffalo in his 6th season as the defensive coordinator and 8th overall season at Penn State. Will try and keep Michigan from getting towards the sticks. And Michigan needs right around the 35-yard line to get into Jake Moody territory. His long on the season is 52 yards. That was back on 9/11 against Washington.
Yeah, if they're going to need to get, I think Moody field goal is essentially out of the question here, because I feel like if you get to that marker, which is at about the 36, if you're just short of that,
you're pretty much guaranteed to go for it.
Yeah. With the way Harbaugh's tendency and this coaching staff, their tendencies have been to go for it in this area of the field when they've got fourth and short.
Especially with the way the wind is blowing. It's going all the way towards the Penn State student section on the far side of the field. So you can put your money from the bank on Michigan going for it on 4th down if they get anywhere near the sticks on this next play. For now, it's 3rd and 14 from midfield.
You don't want to be punting from your opponent's 36-yard line.
Especially with 2 minutes and 21 seconds to go. You do not want to give Penn State another chance on offense.
Look for Eric All here on that left side. Cornelius Johnson also with one-on-one coverage out to the right.
Have to remember, Penn State got the ball first. So if Michigan can put points on the board here, it'd make it difficult for Penn State to begin the second half. McNamara will throw on 3rd and 14. It's a screen to the left side. Haskins needs a couple of blockers. Cuts it up the field to the 40-yard line. He's down to the 38. And there you go. They got close to the sticks. They'll need 2 yards on 4th down, and the Michigan offense is immediately staying on the football field.
Yeah, no question. Like we touched on, this is the type of play that they love to go for, and the analytics say that that's a great decision, and Jim Harbaugh's going to live with that even if they don't convert.
And you like the package they have in there. 4 tight ends for Michigan. Jones, Schoonmaker, all in Honingford. Schoonmaker goes from left to right in motion. McNamara under center in the eye. Turns, hands off. Haskins cuts it up the middle. I don't think he got there. He didn't. And the Penn State defense pushes him back.
Yeah, everyone in the stadium, everyone watching at home, everyone listening knew what was happening there. And the Nittany Lion defense able to hold.
So Penn State with 1:35 to go in the half. They'll get the football in decent field position at the 38. As vanilla type offense for Michigan. They moved Schoonmaker from left to right on the motion. He set up there and an immediate turn to the right side for McNamara and handed off out of the eye. Like you said, 107,000 plus. Whoever's watching on ABC right now knew where that ball was going. Clifford in the shotgun. He brings Washington in motion from left to right. He'll drop the throw, looking for Dotson. He cuts it back up the field. Now he'll reverse. He's got a couple blockers. Ojabo tries to get to him. Now Hill will push him out of bounds. That's a loss of 7 yards on the play. And that's a great first play from the Michigan defense to push him well behind the sticks.
Yeah, I was just going to say, look for Penn State to get the ball into their best playmaker's hands, and that's Jahan Dotson, and they do. Just doesn't work out for him that time. Dotson running all the way across the field behind the line of scrimmage.
He's a playmaker trying to make a play.
Yeah, and if you're James Franklin, you live with that because that's the type of player he is.
4th reception on the day for Dotson. However, he's been held under 20 yards on those receptions. Clifford will get the snap, drops the throw out of the shotgun. Pressure coming from the Wolverines across the middle. It's caught. Washington inside Michigan territory. Inside the 35 and down to the 28-yard line. Continues pushing forward to the 25, and Michigan's finally able to bring him down.
Yeah, he was just wide open in the middle of the field there. I don't know if that's a breakdown in coverage or just finding the soft spot in between the safeties, but easy read for Clifford.
Penn State gets set up quick. 3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Dotson is the far receiver right. Washington, who just made the long catch, is in the near slot. Lovett is the running back. Clifford gets the snap, wants to throw, sets up, and now he throws across the middle. It's incomplete, intended for Lovett. Clifford was really close to the line of scrimmage and just kind of flipped it over the middle. And it was over the head of his intended receiver, Lovett.
Clifford got hit hard there. He looks maybe a little shaken up.
He got cracked down on by Mozzie Smith, who also walks off a bit gingerly for Michigan. 2nd down and 10 for the Nittany Lions from the 25-yard line.
Wolverine defense has been bend, don't break so far. Let's see how much they can bend.
53 seconds to go in the half. Michigan leads 7-3. Clifford with Lovett to his right. Claps his hands, gets the snap. He's going to throw again. Pressure coming from Upshaw. He rolls out to the right side, now throws it, and it's out of bounds, incomplete.
Time not really an issue here for the Nittany Lions. 46 seconds left and 2 timeouts.
Now, there should have easily been a holding penalty called on Caden Wallace, who's had a really tough first half for Penn State. And I would say any right tackle that has to go up against Aiden Hutchinson, David Ojabo, and then Taylor Upshaw on that last play, you're probably going to have a long day.
Yeah, there are very few tackles in the country, let alone the Big Ten, that can consistently deal with that caliber of pass rushers every single play.
3rd down and 10 from the left hash at the 25-yard line. One receiver is close to us. That's Lambert Smith. He's not really been involved so far. Clifford steps up in the pocket. Ball's loose. It's on the ground, and Clifford still has it. He just jumped on the ball.
Recovered by Clifford.
David Ojabo, I think, knocked it loose for the Wolverines. The ball's all the way back at the 34, and it's decision time for James Franklin and Penn State.
Yeah, that's a huge sack and forced fumble because that pushes the Nittany Lions way back, and that makes this a much, much more difficult field goal.
Michigan uses their last timeout with 35 seconds to go in the half, and you figure whether they can hold them on 4th down and 19 or they try to kick, because Jordan Stout is currently standing on the field trying to get warmed up as long as 50.
I believe this is a 51-yard field goal. This would be a
51-yard field goal.
It'd be
1 yard longer than his long. He missed from 51 earlier this year. He's 1 for 2 from 50 and beyond.
Wind is with him, though.
Yes.
We'll see if James Franklin elects to make Stout the first half MVP, doing it all for the Nittany Lions.
He'll be kicking it right into the student section. And you'll hear the crowd roar if it goes through.
Down to attempt the field goal.
51 yards from right in the middle of the field. 107,000 on their feet. I think this is pretty much out of the range to fake a field goal here. Good hold, snap down, kick is up, and it's good.
Jordan Stout is single-handedly keeping Michigan from walking away with this game.
At least in the first half. Scores now 7-6. 31 seconds to go here in the first half. And Michigan will either try to return this one and get good field position or try their best to get in the range of Jake Moody kicking into the wind. And you could tell the wind was with that kick from Jordan Stout because it had plenty of leg and it went straight through the middle to make it a 7-6 ball game.
Yeah, never any doubt on that kick. Officially registered as a 52-yarder.
You know, if you're Michigan too, you go into halftime with the lead, you're happy. Especially with the way that this game started. You were down 3-0, probably should have been down more. 2 consecutive 3-and-outs to start the game, and you're winning at halftime in Happy Valley, bearing anything wild here in the final 31 seconds.
Yeah, another thing you're really happy about is Jahan Dotson only having 4 catches for 22 yards. You're thrilled with that if you're Mike McDonald and this defensive coaching staff.
Jordan Stout makes the slow walk up to the ball and will absolutely boot it through the end zone and hits the wall past the end zone. First down, Michigan at the 25-yard line. They've got 31 seconds to work with and no timeouts.
Yeah, that wind is just making a huge impact on the kicking game especially. I mean, going with the wind, you've got to be imagining you can extend your kicker's range by about 5 yards. And it's essentially an automatic touchback as well.
Michigan will have it first down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Haskins comes out as the back. McNamara in the shotgun. Claps his hands, gets the snap. Hands off to Haskins up the middle. He almost broke away from a defender. And it looks like Michigan's just going to run out the clock and head into the second half.
Yeah.
Smith made the stop for Penn State, a gain of 4.
Haskins just dragging people with him on that carry.
McNamara will throw on this down. Looking, throwing, and incomplete, intended for Schoonmaker. And with 9 seconds left, you may as well just run the ball, but then Penn State will probably call a timeout to try and block the punt on 4th down.
Yeah, that's a confusing play call to me. I mean, you run the ball on first down, you don't pick up much, and then you throw an incompletion. are you trying to score here or not?
I think the answer at this point is a loud no. Handoff goes to Haskins up the middle. He'd need the first down to make sure Penn State doesn't get the ball. He's got it. He's at the 40-yard line, and he dives forward. And with 1 second left in the half, we're going to run the clock. Ebikadi made the stop for Penn State, and the clock officially hits 0 here in the first half. Michigan leads in Beaver Stadium 7-6. A 21-yard passing strike from Cade McNamara to Roman Wilson got him ahead on the scoreboard. Penn State capitalized with 3 points of their own to end the half, and Michigan takes a 1-point spread into halftime. Let's talk numbers. We'll start with Penn State. Sean Clifford, 12 of 21 for 123 yards. That's 56% completion percentage. But most of that yardage came on one really long play to Parker Washington for 44 yards.
Yeah, Parker Washington, I mentioned him at the top of the broadcast. He's obviously not Jahan Dotson, but he's still a very talented receiver that when you focus your entire attention onto stopping Jahan Dotson, he's no slouch. He can exploit your defense, and he did for that long play there. Luckily, the Wolverine defense able to move them back with the forced fumble from David Ojabo. But Jahan Dotson, like I mentioned, having only 22 yards on 4 receptions. He has 8 targets. That's huge if you're the Wolverines. Stuffing the run as expected.
And we figured that we'd see a lot of Noah Cain today, and whether or not it's an injury or discipline, Cain has not played in this game. On the season, 93 carries for 293 yards, and he's their rushing leader in yardage, carries, touchdowns, receptions among running backs. We've seen a lot of the graduate transfer from Baylor, John Lovett, and so far in the day he's been kept at bay. 4 attempts for 17 yards and 1 decent carry for 10 yards.
Yeah, it's a little surprising. Obviously, Cain, like you mentioned, their leading rusher listed as number 1 on the depth chart. Hasn't even come in to spell Lovett. That's been Lee. So definitely surprising, but the Wolverine defense has handled Penn State running backs well.
And as you mentioned, let's go to the receivers for Penn State. Jahan Dotson, 4 receptions, 22 yards. He should have had more, but he decided to reverse the field and lost 7 yards on that last drive for Penn State, which resulted actually in 3 points. It was that long pass to Parker Washington, who's next. 3 receptions for him, 72 yards. He's the leader in reception yardage for Penn State. Michigan side of things, McNamara's been efficient. 9 of 14, 105 yards and a touchdown, and the 1 touchdown pass was a beauty. However, the accuracy besides that pass hasn't been great from Cade.
I feel like this has been a very standard Cade McNamara game. A lot of what we've expected from him this season and what he's shown in most games this season. Hasn't turned the ball over. He's fairly efficient, has some head-scratching throws, but also makes a couple nice plays.
And then rushing, Hassan Haskins, he certainly has carried the workload. We talked about 80% pretty much for Michigan. He's got 13 out of 17 possible carries, which is up there in percentage. 13 attempts, 54 yards, 1 long carry of 16 yards, but it's not just that. He's been used in the passing game. No other Michigan receiver has more than 1 reception. Haskins has 4 of his own for 42 yards, and he's been targeted 4 times, so the efficiency for Hassan Haskins has been so good, especially replacing one of the best pass catchers, if not the best pass catcher, on the team in Blake Corum.
Yeah, Haskins has been doing it all for the Wolverine offense. They have 151 yards of total offense, and more than half of that is on the back of Hassan Haskins.
Other than that, yeah, it's been Donovan Edwards. 2 carries for 2 yards, and they were both on the touchdown drive. So maybe use Donovan Edwards a little bit more. Yeah, when he's included on touchdown drives, especially.
Yeah, I'd like to see some more of him. I mean, obviously, Haskins has been doing a lot, but he can't. It's tough to have that level of volume throughout the course of the game, and you're going to need Edwards to come in there and spell and make some plays. So I'd really like to see some more out of him in the second half.
Again, other than Haskins, Cornelius Johnson has led the receivers with 22 yards. Other than that, Roman Wilson, 1 catch and a touchdown of 21. But Johnson's catch should have been less than 5 yards, if not a negative play. They ended up picking 22 yards
Yeah.
on that play from Cornelius Johnson, and that speaks to the ability for the Michigan receivers to get into space, make men miss, and then get a positive gain on the play.
Jump-starting that offense, that touchdown drive, that was a huge play. Interesting, though, that Haskins is also the most targeted receiver, leading the team with 4. No other receiver having more than 3. Not a ton of passing attempts from Cade McNamara, only 14 in the first half. Just interesting that Haskins is the most targeted individual as well.
We had a long discussion about time of possession between Michigan and Penn State. Penn State only leads now by 1 minute. At one point in time, Penn State had 11 minutes and 40 seconds of the time of possession, and Michigan only had just over 3 minutes. Talk about domination in the second quarter by the Michigan offense. They were on the field essentially the whole time, and that included a 7-minute and 30-second possession, which resulted in 7 points.
Yeah, the first quarters were essentially opposites of each other. The first quarter, all Penn State dominates time of possession. Wolverine offense can't get anything going. And it flipped in the second quarter. Michigan able to obviously have the touchdown drive. The offense gets rolling. Penn State stalls out. They get that field goal at the end of the half there. But other than that, the Penn State offense couldn't get anything going in that second quarter.
And one more thing I especially want to look at is third downs. Penn State on their first 3 was 3 for 3. After that, they're just 1 for 7 on third down. So that speaks volumes to Mike McDonald and Michigan's defense of getting off the field when they're supposed to. Penn State's also 1 for 2 on fourth down, but that one was the fake punt in which Jordan Stout threw a beautiful pass and completed it on the near sideline.
Yeah, the Nittany Lions have really struggled in this second quarter, especially after those first couple drives with converting on third down. And even on that early scoring drive for Penn State, Michigan got a third down stop and then just gave up the special teams play, the fourth down conversion. The defense has done a great job. I'm really impressed with their play so far, especially the pass rush.
Yeah, Michigan's defense has been really good, especially out of that first possession that Penn State had. The Wolverine defense is 6th nationally in scoring defense, allowing just 16 points per game. And they've only allowed more than 17 points 2 times. That was at Nebraska and at Michigan State. The only other road game that they had was Wisconsin. And that last drive for Penn State that they had was pretty similar to the last one that Wisconsin had, in the fact that they had one really long pass, got inside the red zone. Wisconsin ended up scoring a touchdown. However, Penn State only came away with 3 points. So, like I said, it speaks volumes to the bend but don't break. You said it. The bend but don't break. They bent a lot, but they didn't break, and they lead at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, if you go a whole half and your defense hasn't given up a touchdown and Penn State's had multiple trips onto your side of the field and into the red zone, I mean, you're thrilled if you're the Michigan coaching staff.
And one more stat that we definitely talked about was Penn State's red zone defense. Now, you may be a little bit better when you don't actually have to go into the red zone. We'll just set up at the 21-yard line from now on, and we'll score from there.
Yeah, just staying right outside, and no, it was a great throw from Cade, and
that was his best throw of the day.
Oh, absolutely, great route from Roman Wilson, nice play design.
And I'll leave you with this right here, Kelin, before we get off the air. The last time Penn State lost on this date, November 13th, was an upset. It was when 16th-ranked Michigan came into Beaver Stadium and knocked off the 6th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions back in 1999. Also the last time Michigan won the Big Ten.
You never know.
Never know.
Something, is it coincidence? Maybe not.
We'll leave you with that. My name's Zach Linfield, along with Kelin Flynn. We'll be giving it over to Amer Bektas and Charlie Brigham in the second half. Michigan leads it 7-6 at halftime here at Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
At least mine's plastic. Yeah, just so it doesn't like open up. That's fine by the time you come back.
All right, ready? Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football today, live from Happy Valley. So we're just about to head into the second half. The Michigan Wolverines hold a 1-point lead over the Nittany Lions by a score of 7-6. My name is Charlie Brigham, alongside me, Amer, Bektas, and should be a fun second half. Michigan, their one score coming out of the hands of Cade McNamara, a great crossing route to Roman Wilson for his first career touchdown. On Penn State's side, it's 2 field goals from Stout, who's been arguably one of their better players on the day, doing it all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan's very lucky to only be up by 1 right now coming out of halftime, and they're going to receive the ball to start the second half. And let's just start out in that first quarter where Michigan had the ball for really 1 possession, and it was 6 plays, 15 yards, and it lasted 3 minutes and 18 seconds. So just a rough first half, and, you know, James Franklin with a very questionable call on that second drive right there. They were up by 3. They're on the 2-yard line, and it's fourth and 2, and they have the option to kick the field goal. They set it up, and they faked the field goal. Michigan was ready for it. Makes you wonder is why don't you just have your offense out there? But if you're Michigan, no complaints for that one. So the Wolverines will get the ball to start the second half. And the second quarter, the Wolverines had the ball that drive. It was 15 plays, 90 yards, about 7:30 off the clock. Just a perfect Harbaugh-like type of drive there by the Wolverines. And, you know, Hassan Haskins has been pretty dominant for the Wolverines. Penn State struggling to really stop the run game, but Cade McNamara with probably the best pass he's thrown in a Michigan uniform to Roman Wilson for the 21-yard touchdown. And the Wolverines have really struggled in the red zone, so it being a 21-yard touchdown doesn't really count as a red zone pass. But Wolverines, they have to come out this half and put points on the board right away. You know, we look around. This is not a traditional whiteout, but there's still quite a bit of white out in the stands. So you do not want to allow these fans to stay in this game. And Clifford, he looks like the Sean Clifford we've seen all season long before his injury. So the Wolverines, David Ojabo, Hassan Haskins, bringing that pressure, making it tough for him. We're in for a second half. It's a low-scoring first half. I feel like this game's going to open up a lot.
It's definitely going to be fun to watch. You mentioned Hassan Haskins, 13 carries for 54 yards, a long of 16, and on the receiving end, he's got 4 catches for 42 yards. Caught every pass thrown his way. You know, you talk about the strengths of Hassan Haskins, and one of those strengths is his physical strength. He's a very difficult player to take down. Penn State's been hitting him hard all game long, but he just keeps those legs chugging, and is a huge reason why Michigan has been able to extend some of these drives, just using his physicality and showing Penn State that he's not going to back down from a fight.
Oh, exactly. You could not have said it any better.
Be interesting to see how Michigan continues to just kind of grow in this second half. You mentioned that first possession where they only had the ball for 3 minutes. Since then, the time of possession for Michigan at 14.5 minutes, just 1 minute less than the Nittany Lions, but looks like we are ready to go here. Stout set to kick it away. Back deep for the Michigan Wolverines is A.J. Henning.
So another player to pay attention to with Blake Corum being out is Donovan Edwards, and we're just waiting for him to get that gap and just go the distance, because the true freshman does have that slipperiness to him where he can break a tackle and just go the distance. And this is a perfect opportunity for him to make his presence known on the road at Happy Valley.
And we are off. Second half action on the way. Stout's kick is just going to bounce its way into the end zone, so Cade McNamara and the Michigan offense going to go to work at the 25-yard line. Out comes Roman Wilson with that starting unit we mentioned. The lone scorer for the Wolverines, a beautiful crossing route. That's his only catch on the day. He's got 1 catch on 3 targets, but that 1 catch, a monumental one, 21 yards and his first career touchdown. Michigan going to come right out in the shotgun. It's going to be McNamara back in the gun. Hassan Haskins to his right-hand side. Double twin set wide out on either side. McNamara's going to go to work from the right hash. Gets the snap. Handoff. Haskins right up the middle. Met hard, but he's got himself a gain of 2.
And Hassan Haskins is showing why he is one of the more elite running backs in college football, it's really tough to bring him down. Like the initial tackle, if you go in 50-50, you're not going to bring him down. He's going to bounce off. He's going to get more yards. Rarely ever does Hassan Haskins lose yardage on a carry.
2nd and 7. McNamara back in the gun again. Handoff, Haskins off tackle, breaks one tackle. He's got room to work. Over across the 35, he's going to be pushed out of bounds just in front of the 40-yard line. That's a first down for the Wolverines.
Exactly as I alluded it to. You know, Hassan Haskins gets contact in the backfield right there, but you can't go 50-50 on the tackle right there. And just a great block by Roman Wilson right there up the field to give Hassan Haskins the opportunity to get the first down. Wolverines get the first down. They're in business now.
Michigan moving the chains for the first time this drive, looking to march their way all the way down the field and try to find the end zone for the second time today. Here's the snap. McNamara dropping back to pass. He's looking deep down the sideline. He's got Roman Wilson, and there's going to be an incomplete pass. Wilson wanted a flag. Guarded closely, but referee said it was clean.
Yeah, Joey Porter Jr. on the coverage right there, just one-on-one. The pass was there, but Roman Wilson, there was contact on that one. No call on the play.
It'll be 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass from McNamara. He'll start alone back in the gun. Now signals Haskins over to his right-hand side. 2 receivers to his left at the far end of the field. It's getting loud here in Beaver Stadium. McNamara dropping back to pass, looking over the middle, and he's got Cornelius Johnson. Cuts upfield, breaks a tackle, and he's taken down after a big gain. And another first down for Michigan. That one, a gain of 25 on 2nd and 10.
Yeah, looking at replay of that one. 5-man rush by the Nittany Lions right there. Hassan Haskins picks up the extra rusher, and Cade McNamara is able to get it off to Cornelius Johnson, and now they are in Penn State territory for the first time of this half.
McNamara, 10 for 16, 130 yards, having quite a day. Handoff on 1st and 10. Haskins trying to go off tackle. Cuts upfield, breaks a tackle, keeping those legs churning, and he's over the 30-yard line for a gain of 6. We mentioned at halftime, Hassan Haskins, one of his biggest strengths, best abilities is just his willpower to keep those legs churning and drag defenders with him as he goes down the field.
It all starts with this offensive line right there. You know, Ryan Hayes was struggling in that first quarter to keep Cade McNamara safe out there in the back, but it looks like he's settled in so far in this drive.
Single tight end set, McNamara in the pistol. Handoff, Haskins up the middle. He's going to follow his lead blocker, Luke Schoonmaker, around the corner for enough for a first down. Cuts back, and he's got even more. Inside the 20-yard line, up to about the 16. Hassan Haskins, what a great run there. Do have a player down on the field. It is number 91, Devon Ellies.
Yeah, Devon Ellies down behind the line of scrimmage. Did not see him initially go down, and looks to be a left foot injury for the defensive tackle. You know, Penn State, they've been missing a lot this season with injuries, and that's probably why they're not a top 10 team right now. You know, when you beat a team like Iowa on the road in a top 5 matchup, and then you lose 3 in a row, you go to 9 overtimes against Illinois. I mean, a healthy Sean Clifford is the difference for this Penn State team, and we saw it in the first drive. You know, James Franklin, he was going to be aggressive. Like, on paper, Michigan is technically the better team, but coming into Happy Valley is always a difficult venue to win in, and, you know, this is going to be the 7th meeting between Harbaugh and James Franklin, and they're both 3-3 right now. Michigan has not won the last 2 years. Don't really count last year, but the year before that, it was a whiteout here in Happy Valley. The Wolverines, they came back in the second half. They made it interesting, but, you know, different stakes on the line here today as Michigan is going in one direction, Penn State is going in the other direction. Penn State has the opportunity to play spoiler. They lost to Ohio State. They play Michigan today. They're going to play Michigan State next week, so they do have the opportunity to spoil somebody's season.
While we were getting that recap, Devon Ellies did manage to get up and walk off the field on his own power, so sending our best wishes his way, but that is a big loss for Penn State if he's not able to return to this game. He is an absolute presence on the defensive end. 6'1", 303 pounds. The redshirt sophomore from Burtonsville, Maryland, is a huge part of that front five. Both teams still in their respective huddles. So we're waiting for this media timeout to wrap up.
So Michigan is going to start in the red zone at the Penn State 17-yard line. And, you know, Michigan the last couple of games, they've really struggled in the red zone as a team. You know, they'll get the team, or they're able to get into the red zone. That's not the problem. It's once they get into the red zone that they struggle to put 6 up on the board. And, I mean, that's just, as Mike Hart alluded to, that's just execution and play calling. So it's not a single person to blame. It's just execution, being able to call the right plays at the right time. So we'll see what the Wolverines have drawn up here on their opening possession of the second half.
Ball will start on the Penn State 17-yard line. McNamara will be back in the gun. 3 receivers out to his left-hand side alongside Hassan Haskins. He's got one-on-one coverage with Cornelius Johnson on the near side. Waiting for the word from the referees.
And they're going into the Penn State student section, so if it's going to be loud on any side of the stadium, it's right here.
Hassan Haskins gives a quick word to the offensive line, and we are set to go. The referee swings his arm. Clock starts rolling. And that's going to be a false start on Hassan Haskins. McNamara faked, clapped his hands. Haskins tried to stay still for as long as he could, but just eventually fell over. That's a heartbreaker for Michigan. Going to bring them back out of the red zone, and it'll be 1st and 15.
You know how you come back with that one? Give it back to Hassan Haskins, and he goes for even a longer yards for this one to put it in the end zone.
3 receivers out to McNamara's left side. Cornelius Johnson Jr. has one-on-one coverage with Joey Porter Jr. on the near side. McNamara drops back to pass. Quick out route. On the far side, it's connected with Roman Wilson. Enough for a gain of 10 on 1st and 15. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 10-yard line.
Just looking at that one right there, it was great job by the offensive line to give McNamara time in the pocket. Roman Wilson open, no defender on him right there. Just an easy catch right there, and puts Michigan now just outside the 10-yard line.
Referees doing Michigan no favors with the spot on that one. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the Penn State 13. Play action. McNamara drops back to pass. He's got an open man out in the flats, diving for the end zone, and just pushed out of bounds. It's connected with Eric All. And Michigan with a fresh set of downs, and now they're going to go to work 1st and goal from the 1-yard line.
On our long drive here, we were talking a lot of stuff, and we were talking about what's the X factor in this game, and we alluded to tight ends. And having Eric All come back after injury is huge for the Wolverines.
Double bunch set, McNamara in the gun. Play action, looking across the middle. Roman Wilson again! Touchdown, Michigan!
Roman Wilson with his 2nd touchdown of the day. Cade McNamara fakes the handoff to Hassan Haskins, just right across the middle to Roman Wilson. That's a good opening drive by the Wolverines right there.
Roman Wilson now 4 catches for 31 yards and 2 touchdowns. Have a day. Talk about efficiency. As Jake Moody lines up for the extra point, the Michigan Wolverines looking to make it an 8-point lead.
The Penn State defense was ready for Hassan Haskins' run up the middle, and Brandon Smith, the middle inside linebacker, was through that line ready to meet Haskins, but Michigan going through the air and putting 6 on the board as Jake Moody sends it up through the uprights, and now Michigan's up 14-6 over Penn State. 11:50 left in the 3rd quarter, and you know, now you're putting Michigan's best unit out there, their defense. You know, David Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson are going to work out there on the field. In that first drive in the 1st quarter, they were able to each get a sack on that first possession. You know, this offensive line was not ready, and you know, David Ojabo at the beginning of the season, everybody was like, okay, Aiden Hutchinson, that's the man, that's the guy we got to pay attention to. Nobody really paid attention to David Ojabo, but he has come onto the stage right now. And, you know, you got Hutchinson from one side, Ojabo from the other side, and Clifford. I mean, he burned Michigan a couple times running right up the middle, but just getting the pressure on there. And it's a good thing for the Wolverines. They're not able to get it to their receivers. I mean, they've kept Dotson in control. Only 4 attempts for 22 yards, but how long can you hold control of them?
Yeah, if you're an offensive line going against that pass rushing duo of Ojabo and Hutchinson, it's kind of pick your poison. Whatever side you want to focus on, the other one is going to be coming right at you from the backside. With an 8-point lead, Jake Moody's kickoff is well out of the back of the end zone, almost hits one of the cheerleaders past the back line, and it'll be a touchback. Penn State will go to work at the 25-yard line. So
during that kickoff right there, and you know, the noise and music inside the stadium, you can see players on the bench just bringing the energy. They got chairs, they're throwing them up in the air, and I forgot who it was. I think it was Hitton that was talking at a press conference. Was like, we want to go in there and we want to steal their momentum.
It's going to be Penn State to go to work. It's Clifford in the shotgun, 3 receivers to his left side, handoff up the middle, and breaking a tackle and out into the open field is Lee, and he's got a first down, 15 yards, and a big play for Penn State to open up the drive.
Penn State's Achilles heel this season has been establishing that run game, and right now they're doing an okay job, able to get the first down right there.
Kevon Lee with the big play on first down, and now Penn State not wasting any time. Quick screen pass into the flats, connecting with the tight end, Brenton Strange, and they're just short of another first down. 2nd and 3, Penn State. 4 receivers to the right-hand side of Clifford. Play action, screen pass, almost intercepted. Josh Ross, nice tackle.
Josh Ross saving the potential first down right there, getting Dotson as soon as he catches the ball right there. But Penn State has been really successful when they go up-tempo. I mean, we saw what the Michigan Wolverines did in East Lansing. They really struggle with that up-tempo. They like to sub a lot. They really do. And now David Ojabo gets back into this game, and so does Mike Morris.
Clifford directing traffic on 3rd and 3. Ball on the Penn State 46-yard line. 3 receiver set. Here's the handoff up the middle. It's Lee once more, and he's got enough for a first down. Lee putting in work on this drive.
Levon gets the handoff, just goes up the middle to the right, and then just basically jumps over to get that first down. It's really close. It really is, but the referees are going to give it to Penn State. Harbaugh is right at that 50-yard line, not happy with the possession or the spot of the ball right there. And Harbaugh's been taking a lot of heat on social media for arguing a lot of plays.
Double twin set for Clifford here. He's back in the shotgun. Play action, dropping back to pass. Pressure coming from Michigan, and he's swallowed up. Who else? Aiden Hutchinson right there.
You just see that pocket collapse. That's all you see is Clifford does not have time to get that ball right away, and it looks like he's a little bit shaken up on that one, but just the pocket is collapsing. You got Hutchinson on one side, Ojabo on the other, Morris coming up through the middle. This defensive line is ferocious.
2nd and 13 for Penn State. Clifford in an empty backfield. 3 receivers out to his right-hand side. 1 lone receiver on the near side. It's Cam Sullivan-Brown in solo coverage. Play action now rolling out to his right is Clifford. Coming up and providing pressure is Ojabo. David Ojabo knocks him down, but Clifford just able to throw it away. It'll be 2nd and 15.
Michigan fans, enjoy David Ojabo while we still have him, because this man is shooting up the draft boards. I mean, Mel Kiper recently said that this is a potential first-round pick.
3rd down and 13 for Clifford in the Nittany Lions offense. 3 receivers to his left-hand side, back in the shotgun once more. Michigan settling back into his own coverage, 5 men up front. Play clock ticking down lower and lower. Clifford trying to direct traffic here. Dropping back to pass on 3rd and 13. Looking across the middle, and a man was wide open just through the hands of Lambert Smith.
Yeah, that's the second play that we've seen where Sean Clifford hits his receiver on the target and just cannot come down with it. In this case, it was Lambert Smith, who has 2 touchdowns up to this season, and he's averaging 15.5 yards. So Michigan gets lucky on that one as Clifford finds his man across the middle, and A.J. Henning is going to be deep to receive this one, and Michigan Wolverines are going to get it back. Good defensive stance right there by the Wolverines.
Stout to punt it away from his own 47-yard line. That one almost blocked. It's going to be A.J. Henning. Not going to fair catch it. Catches at the 10-yard line. He's got about 3 extra yards. Made the first man miss, but he recovered and made the play himself. So Cade McNamara and the Michigan offense are going to go to work from their own, looks like 15-yard line. Give you a quick look around the world of college football.
So we'll start with the Big Ten. You know, Wisconsin's turning it around late in the season. They're up 28-0 over Northwestern. 3:26 left in the third quarter. Alabama, surprisingly, not really, is back into this one. They are up 49-3 over New Mexico State. Baylor, Oklahoma, top 10 matchup. Baylor up 10-7 over Oklahoma. 4:30 left in the third quarter. You know, if Oklahoma loses that one, their college football playoff hopes are basically over. Auburn up 28-17 over Mississippi State. Yesterday, Cincinnati took care of business against South Florida, 45-28. And I mean, you can look at the recent CFP rankings, and the committee took a lot of heat by giving Michigan the edge over Michigan State only a week after Michigan State beat Michigan at home. So right now, who really knows what to expect? But, you know, for Cincinnati specifically, I mean, they're going to need style points. They're going to need to win big if they want to get into this. I mean, what happens in the SEC is going to be huge. If Georgia's undefeated going into the SEC championship game against Alabama, and Alabama pulls that one off, then you're looking at 2 teams from the SEC in there, and then who comes out of it from the Big Ten? Right now, it's a three-man race: Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State. And Michigan will control their own destiny if, and this is if, Michigan State loses one more time. So Michigan takes care of business today and against Maryland, and Michigan State loses either to Ohio State or Penn State, then the Wolverines are in business. It'll come down to the last day of November, or last weekend in November in Ann Arbor. That could be a really big one as Ohio State finally looks mortal for the first time in forever, and Michigan looks really good this year as well.
As you mentioned, Amer, Michigan got to get this one first. The Wolverines looking to make it a pretty successful weekend all the way around the athletic department. Got wins in field hockey, women's soccer. Michigan hockey's getting it done against Penn State this weekend. The Michigan women's basketball team currently up big over St. Francis Brooklyn, up 23-7 with about 30 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Unsurprisingly, Naz Hillman leading the way for the Michigan Wolverines. Perfect from the floor for 8 points.
Banners are just being raised in Chrysler. The men's team raising the regular season Big Ten championship banner on Wednesday. The women's team raising the Sweet 16 banner today. So it's good. Both teams look really good, really special this year. Ranked in the top 25 to start the season. It's a special time to be a Wolverines fan right now.
From their own 14-yard line, Cade McNamara and the Michigan offense take the field. He'll start alone in the backfield. 3 receivers to his right-hand side. It's Dalen Baldwin in one-on-one coverage on the far side. Empty backfield for McNamara. Gets the snap. It's going to be a reverse. He hands it off to Eric All, trying to make a man miss in space, using his legs, pushing through a defender, making something out of nothing. He barely got back to the line of scrimmage. It might be a gain of about half a yard at most.
Yeah, Penn State was ready for that from the beginning. You know, Eric Hall is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Brooks was right there ready to tackle Eric Hall.
No gain for the Wolverines. They'll just burn it down and move to the right hash. 2nd down and 10, still from the 14-yard line. 9:30 left to play here in the third quarter. Snap to McNamara, dropping back to pass, looking far side, and that one's incomplete. Intended receiver was Cornelius Johnson Jr.
Yeah, Cornelius Johnson just turning his head a little bit late there. McNamara throwing it outside of the numbers, but Johnson was not ready on that one. Getting contact as usual. No call on that one. I mean, it wasn't anything aggressive, but just the two on different pages as Penn State fans are up on their feet right now for a big 3rd down.
3rd and 10. Michigan going to have to go to the air here again, trying to avoid a 3-and-out. McNamara looking for Roman Wilson, and that ball falls incomplete. Wilson was held a little bit, but that ball pretty much uncatchable as it skips off the turf, and that one's going to be a 3-and-out for the Michigan offense.
Yeah, Joey Porter Jr., the redshirt sophomore from Bakersfield, California, 6'2", 192. And, you know, Penn State they have probably one of the best corner duos, not only in the Big Ten, but maybe the country. So getting big plays over those type of corners is going to be very difficult.
Brad Robbins to punt it away. He'll kick it from about his own 3-yard line. It's Dotson back deep to receive. Wind at his back. This punt booming. Dotson's going to fair catch it at his 40-yard line, so it'll be 60 yards to go for the Nittany Lions offense as Sean Clifford tries to get some more points on the board. Michigan up still 14-6. Amer, with 8:36 left to play here in the third quarter, time winding down in this game, what do you think the main point of emphasis has to be for Penn State right now to get themselves back into this ball game?
Oh, it's a one-possession game right now. You know, Penn State, if they're able to go 60 yards, you go for 2, and you're all tied up at 14. But, you know, Michigan's defense is playing elite defense right now, and they're getting pressure to the quarterback in Clifford, and he just doesn't have time to get the ball away.
Clifford sends one man in motion. Now gets the snap on 1st and 10. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Lee breaks out into the open field. Stiff arm. He's got a first down. And he's going to be good for exactly 10. Lee getting his touches here. Now 9 carries for 43 yards. And another Penn State first down. They're going to go to work from the left hash at exactly midfield.
They're going with the tempo, trying to get the Wolverines on their heels.
Clifford alone in the backfield. He's empty. Rolling out to his right hand now, looking downfield, trying to find somebody. Floats it up, and that one's completed. And another first down. That one floats into the hands of Washington. And Penn State making it look easy here. We said they had 60 yards to go, and 2 plays later and 2 first downs later, they've only got 30 yards. It's going to be a handoff to Kevon Lee again, and tried to make a man miss, but Michigan right there on top of him. He's got at most 1.
It's just the up-tempo offense right there, and now they're going to sub out, so the Wolverines will be able to sub out as well. But just the up-tempo, I mean, 2 plays, and you cut the field in half. Now Clifford's going to go with the empty backfield.
Clifford now 15 for 26, 150 yards under his belt, still looking for the end zone for the first time today. Sends Kevon Lee in motion. It's going to be a screen pass and just off the hands of Lee. Ball hits the turf, and they're going to call it an incomplete pass. It was forward. As I just mentioned, Sean Clifford, 15 for 26 for 149 yards. The leading receiver, Parker Washington. He's got 4 catches for 92 yards. The long of that, a 44-yarder back in the first half.
The Nittany Lions are 5 for 12 on 3rd downs right here. So
3rd and 8 from the Michigan 28-yard line. Clifford's got Lovett right to his left-hand side. 2 receivers out to his right. Michigan playing man-to-man coverage on 3rd and 8. Now sends 1 man in motion. The snap, and we're going to have a whistle. Plays blown dead. Coach Harbaugh didn't like what he saw, and he called timeout. So we'll have a quick break before Penn State tries to go for this 3rd and 8 once more.
So last time Coach Harbaugh called a timeout like this when he didn't like something he see, Penn State was able to convert on the 4th down, the fake punt right there. But let's see what they can do right here. I mean, it's 3rd and 8. They went with the empty backfield because, you know, Dotson, that's their star athlete, and he's been held in check so far. And then you're just waiting for him to break out. I mean, just like Michigan State, Kenneth Walker, that's their elite player. Michigan was able to shut him down early, but not for long when he then breaks out for 5 touchdowns. You know, the 3rd quarter was the turning point in that game. And we're similarly in that spot right now. I mean, it's a 1-possession game. It's 3rd down. It's a big 3rd down right here.
The captain, Sean Clifford, going to have to get his team set up here. It's 3rd and 8. They're inside field goal range with the impressive leg of Stout. He showed it off earlier, banging a 52-yarder. Dropping back to pass on 3rd and 8. Pass over the middle is completed, but not enough for a first down. Michigan right there.
Yeah, Clifford wanted to go to Parker Washington on the right side, but just the pocket was collapsing, and he had to dump it across the middle to at least get some yardage to make the field goal a lot easier. It's going to be a 43-yard attempt, but this time he's going against the wind. When he kicked that 51-yard field goal, he was going with the wind, so this might be a little bit more difficult for him.
Wind helped him out quite a bit back on that 52-yarder. Now Stout has to fight it himself. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up and a line drive and off the right goal post. Stout had been perfect all day and doinks that one. Michigan catches a break. They're going to keep their 8-point lead.
It was a low-driven kick right there, and like we mentioned, the wind, it's been turning. It's been really swirling all around the stadium, but that time it was going against the wind, hits the upright or the right post right there. Michigan maintains their 8-point lead. Now they gotta get it done on offense. And you look at the tight ends. The tight ends are really the X factor for these Wolverines, and also the running backs. You know, Hassan Haskins, he's a tough man to tackle. I mean, he's up to 42 yards right now, but also 87 on the yard, 87 on the ground, 42 in through the air. But also Donovan Edwards. I mean, he only has 2 attempts so far. But you're just one of these plays, you feel like the freshman is just going to break out for a big play, and that could be the changing point in this game.
That's very true. You look at some of these young guys in this Michigan lineup, guys like Donovan Edwards, Roman Wilson, Andrew Anthony especially. It feels like every time they touch the ball, they have potential to take it the length of the field to the end zone. We looked back at that one catch that Andrew Anthony had earlier. He was 1 for 1 for 13 yards, but the ball thrown to him was not a good pass whatsoever. McNamara threw it about 2 or 3 feet behind him, reached back, bobbled it, was able to pull it in, and still run for additional yardage. That's just showing off his athleticism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this receiving core from the Wolverines, like you just mentioned, like Andrew Anthony, like just the athletic ability by this receiving core is amazing. Going back to this defensive side of the ball, though, for the first time in program history, Michigan has 2 players in double-digit sacks. David Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson are both at 10 sacks in the season so far. And we're still got half a game left here and then 2 games left against Maryland and Ohio State. So, arguably the best pass rush duo in the country.
Potential upset alert. Number 13 Baylor currently reads number 8th ranked Oklahoma 10-7 as they're just about to head into the 4th quarter there.
Feels like these games are flying today. You can look back at the Indiana game last weekend and it felt like it took forever.
Yeah, game's moving right along. That second slate of games at 3:30 looking closer and closer.
And usually when Michigan comes to Beaver Stadium, it's usually under the lights, a whiteout, but Penn State electing to use the whiteout this year against Auburn, which, I mean, you can agree with. I mean, who knows when the next time Auburn's going to come up here, but they still did a kind of a whiteout. They did the helmet stripe, and they did it successfully. It's really impressive. Just looking at that 50-yard line, it's all navy blue with a few hints of maize. I mean, Michigan fans travel really well. Stadium is holding up pretty good. On the right side to us, the student section is all still intact, besides the upper bowl, which is not about half full.
Media timeout wraps up and both teams take the field. McNamara is in the shotgun. It's a 1-receiver set. He's got Eric All to his right-hand side, Hassan Haskins to his left, both of them in the backfield, all down in a 3-point stance. The lone receiver is Cornelius Johnson on the far end. Handoff, Haskins off tackle, nice block by Eric All, and he's got room to work. He's got a first down.
This is the big plays. This is the big plays right there. First play from scrimmage, first play to start this drive. Hassan Haskins is able to get 11 yards on that one to give Michigan a fresh set of downs. And, you know, that's what Harbaugh loves to do. He loves to establish the run game, take time off the clock. We saw it in the second quarter when they took 7 minutes and 30 seconds off the second quarter clock.
Outside linebacker Ellis Brooks pushing Hassan Haskins out of bounds there. Might have saved a touchdown. McNamara will hand off to Haskins again. Finds a hole, but he's good for only 2. Penn State coming up and just filling that hole in the middle. Tackle made by number 40, Jesse Lakita.
Yeah, right now Josh Gaddis going with Hassan Haskins on back-to-back plays right there, trying to get Penn State to load up the box to open up their receivers, and they're going to have 3 to the top now, so could we see one in the air for the second down?
3 receivers set. Luke Schoonmaker in the tight end position towards McNamara's right. Here's the snap on 2nd and 8. He's going to throw, looking across the middle, completed to Mike Sainterstill, and he's got enough for just short of a first down, rather. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, initially it looked like he did get the first down right there, but you have to love what Cade McNamara is doing. You know, the pocket is collapsing towards the end right there. Just dumps it across the middle to Mike Sainterstill. Not the greatest play ever, but you're getting positive yardage, and you love to see that. You do not want to lose yardage. It sounds cliche, but that's what you got to do.
3rd and 1, double tight end set. McNamara hands off Haskins, and he's going to push forward. That's definitely enough for a first down. Not much more, though. He needed 1. He got about 1.5. Yeah,
they're up to half field right now, almost into Penn State territory.
Couple substitutions on the offensive end. Michigan wasted no time getting right up to the line. No huddle.
You can feel like this is a momentum-shifting drive. If the Wolverines are able to get into the end zone, it's just going to take a lot of energy out of the stadium.
Bunch set to the near side. Lone receiver to the top. McNamara dropping back to pass. He's looking for Cornelius Johnson way high. Had him open, but just overthrew him.
Yeah, just really overthrew him over top right there. Should have threw it a little bit more like on the numbers. Otherwise, it throws it on the numbers. It's a first down for the Wolverines to Cornelius Johnson. We have yet to see J.J. McCarthy in this game. It's really interesting. You know, Harbaugh has J.J. has played in just about every game. I think every game he's at least seen the field once. Yet to see the field, and we're 4:50 left in the third quarter.
You got a false start on 2nd and 10, so the Wolverines are going to have to back up, make it 2nd and 15. True freshman McCarthy's already burned his redshirt status for this season, so no use saving him now.
Yeah, both teams keeping it pretty clean with penalties. Michigan with 3 penalties for 15 yards. Penn State 3 for 19.
2nd and 15. Ball's going to be on the Michigan 44-yard line. Bunch set to McNamara's left. Cornelius Johnson, the lone receiver, on the near sideline. Rolling out to his right now, finding a man in the flats. It's Mike Sainterstill. And he's going to be 1 yard shy of where the Wolverines originally started. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Yeah, 3rd and long. This is definitely not in field goal range, so you have to get the first down right here. Otherwise, you're most likely punting it back to Penn State.
Yeah, Jake Moody's got a good leg, and he's got the wind in his back, but I don't know if he's got quite enough for about a 70-yarder. 4 receivers set for McNamara. Michigan takes a quick look at the sidelines.
107,000 people right now going up to their feet, being as loud as they can.
Here's the snap on 3rd and 11. McNamara looking to the air, got a man across the middle. It's Cornelius Johnson, but he's only good for 4. And Michigan's going to bring out the punt unit here as it's now 4th and 6, but from the Penn State 48-yard line. Definitely out of Jake Moody's range. It'll be Brad Robbins to come in and punt it away.
Could you see a fake punt by the Wolverines here? I don't expect a fake punt just because Brad Robbins is one of the best punters in the country, and Michigan's defense has shut down Penn State so far.
It's Dotson back deep to receive this punt. Just under 3.5 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. High arcing punt down towards the end zone. Michigan unable to field it cleanly. Had they let it bounce, they might have been able to. But it bounces off the left arm of the Michigan punt returner and rolls into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, Junior Colson was right there, just half a second late. Otherwise, they pin Penn State at their own 5-yard line, but rather they're going to start at their 20-yard line.
Unfortunate break for the Wolverines there. Turned what would have been really good field position into not so great.
And this game's still up for grabs right here. It's a one-possession game. Michigan's defense needs to, it's been that bend, don't break mentality, but today they're doing really well.
Clifford looking to get something going here for his Nittany Lions offense. 4 receiver set. He's back in the shotgun. Quick option pitch over to the right side. Lee's got room to work, and he's got about 8 yards.
Yeah, Kelin Lee right there just gets the pitch from Clifford to his right, gets blockers, is able to get 8, almost 9 yards on that one. Officially is going to get 8, so it's going to be 2nd down and 2 to go. Penn State trying to go with that up-tempo offense.
Kelin Lee heads to the sideline. Lovett checks in for him. Another 4 receiver set, 2 close bunched on Clifford's right side. He sends one man in motion. It's going to be a jet sweep. Nice blocks on the outside. He's got 5. The handoff to Dotson. Those 5 yards good enough for a Nittany Lions first down, so Penn State moves the chains on their first set. Two minutes and 40 seconds left in this quarter as the clock continues to tick down. Clifford looking to the air, rolling out to his right, throwing on the run, almost intercepted. Went through the hands of Lovett and bounced up, hit Josh Ross in the chest.
Josh Ross with an almost early Christmas gift right there. Clifford rolling out to his right, trying to get an open man, but Josh Ross is right there, and he did not expect the ball to come to him right there. If he was ready for that one, it's a pick 6, guaranteed.
2nd and 10, Clifford's alone in the backfield. 3 receivers and a tight end to his right-hand side. He's got one-on-one working on this near sideline. It's Dotson all alone. Now motions a man into the backfield to his right-hand side. It's Kelin Lee. It's going to be a handoff on 2nd and 10, good for 3 yards in the cloud of dust. Looking at the quarterback comparison right now, Cade McNamara for the Michigan Wolverines. 17 for 26 for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the Penn State side, Sean Clifford, very comparable stats at 16 for 29 and 152 yards, but hasn't been able to find the end zone. He's got 3rd and 7 here. Penn State needs a first down, or else they risk giving it back to the Michigan Wolverines with pretty good field position. Looking to the air on 3rd and 7. He's got a man open, and in stride catches his man. It's connecting with Dotson for another first down. Dax Hill right there on the tackle to keep him from getting any more. But Penn State wasting no time, no huddle offense. 3 receivers to Clifford's left-hand side. It's going to be a handoff. Kelin Lee breaking around the outside, makes one man miss, makes another miss, and he's got 8 yards.
Yeah, going back to that 3rd down conversion right there. Clifford wanted Dotson from the beginning of that snap right there. You had Dotson and Washington just run cross routes, and he got Dotson right there. It was not the best throw, but Dotson right there is just able to go up and make the grab and get the first down.
2nd and 3 from Michigan's 39-yard line. Penn State creeping down the field slowly but surely. 1:12 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Penn State kind of running out of time. Clifford dropping back to pass on 2nd down. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to look to run, and he's taken down. Michigan came right up and filled those holes. Michael Barrett stepping up for the sack.
Yeah, pocket collapsing right there. Michigan DB's doing great coverage right there. Nobody open, and Clifford trying to make some noise on the ground, not able to, as Brad Hawkins is right there to take him down, or Robbins.
3rd down and 7. Michael Barrett getting credit for the sack there. Clock ticking under 30 seconds now. 5 receivers set. Clifford alone in the backfield. He's going empty. Here's the snap, dropping back to pass on 3rd down. Looking to the air and completed. There's a flag down in the backfield.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson just got taken down like with the arm bar right there. He got a perfectly timed jump right there. Like, just perfectly timed. The defensive end had nothing else he could do other than just knock Hutchinson down.
Yeah, the right tackle, Walker, making a nice tackle on the offensive side, but It's going to bring Penn State back. Michigan is going to make a few substitutions, and Penn State now has much farther to go. 3rd and 7, turning into a much less manageable 3rd and about 18, looks like.
Wallace is 6'5", 323 redshirt sophomore. And there's nothing else he could do against Hutchinson. Like I said, Hutchinson timed his jump so perfectly, I almost thought it was a false start.
8 seconds left in this quarter. Penn State might just let it run out. They get a snap off, so this is the last play of the third quarter. Completed in the flats, but not enough. Coming up and making a great play for the Michigan Wolverines is number 4, Vincent Gray. So we're going to head to the fourth quarter, and Michigan is going to receive a punt to start it off.
I think so. It's gonna be 4th down and 14, and I mean, Coach Franklin has shown that he's not afraid to be aggressive. I mean, you're at the 50-yard line. It's a one-possession game. You have to punt it, don't you?
I think the fact that it is a one-possession game just solidifies the fact that you have to kick it away. As much as you don't want to give Michigan another opportunity to put more points on the board, like you said, one-possession game. It's the start of the fourth quarter, so you've got plenty of time to work. You've got to give it back to the Michigan Wolverines. Speaking of the Michigan Wolverines, looking to the realm of women's college basketball, as the Wolverines head into halftime, they've got a pretty comfortable lead over St. Francis Brooklyn, 49-16. Naz Hillman leading the way with 15 points.
So we've been saying 107,000, but today's attendance, 109,534.
Beaver Stadium is packed today.
You know, they always show out, and, you know, Michigan and Ohio State, those are their two biggest opponents that come into Happy Valley. And, I mean, 109,534. That's quite a number. I mean, when we came in here, it kind of felt like the stadium was actually small. Like, compared to the big house. I mean, we'll see when we go down to the field at the end of the game, but 109,000. Quite a bit.
Looking around the world of college football, Baylor has extended their lead to 10 now over Oklahoma. Oklahoma has the ball with 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but the Baylor Bears lead 17-7. Update in that game, Spencer Rattler takes over for Caleb Williams, so some more drama going on in Oklahoma.
Caleb Williams really struggling. He had 2 interceptions in that one, basically sending him to the bench, bringing Spencer Rattler back from the transfer portal and into the game. I mean, we talked about it on the ride here. Oklahoma, you know, Caleb Williams coming in against Texas and really being the X factor and the biggest reason why Oklahoma was able to win that game. And now Spencer Rattler gets the keys back to the car. Can he bring his Sooners back into this game? And Oklahoma Sooners, if they lose that game, their CFP hopes are basically gone.
The only other real interesting thing going on in the world of college basketball or college football right now outside of this game, the Alabama Crimson Tide covered their spread of minus 51.5. They currently lead by 53 against New Mexico State, 56-3. Mexico State has the ball in the fourth quarter. Quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide, Bryce Young, ties his career-high 5 passing touchdowns, went 21 for 23 for 270 yards and 5 trips to the end zone. I'd say that's a pretty decent day.
Yeah, I think we can do that in an IM league. Mentioned basketball. What a game last night between the UCLA Bruins and the Villanova. Coming in on the road, taking it to overtime, not letting us go to sleep until after 1 a.m. But what a game. Johnny Juzang. He's gonna be an issue in the Pac-12 this year.
Yeah, and an impressive back-and-forth game all the way through. Colin Gillespie and Johnny Juzang, as you mentioned, of the Wildcats of the Bruins, respectively, just going at each other's throats. But as the media timeout between the quarters wraps up, it'll be Penn State to punt it away. The field is flipped ends. It's A.J. Hunting back deep to receive this punt. He's standing at his own 9-yard line. Looking at the Big Ten, Rutgers currently up 31-3. As we are here ready to go, Stout ready to kick it off. Michigan almost gets a punt block off. The punt Clean away. A.J. Henning gets run into by his own man, and what a punt. Penn State downs it at the 1-yard line.
Michigan, if you want to be an elite program, got to drive 99 yards now. What a fantastic punt right there. Downing of Michigan at the 1-yard line. Almost looks like it was at the half-yard line, honestly.
Stout doing a great job staying in there even though pressure was coming heavily.
Now the student section is going to be to the back of the Michigan Wolverines. So crucial drive right here. And we've mentioned it, it's still a one-possession game. That's the problem.
Double tight end set. Eric All to the left of McNamara. He's going to hand it off to Haskins, just looking to gain some extra space. And he's got maybe half a yard. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just trying to get some more space out there. I mean, do you want to go through the air now, or do you want to keep it on the ground? I believe, Jim Harbaugh, we can expect him to keep it on the ground. That's exactly what they're going to do right here, since no wide receivers are out wide.
McNamara under center for the first time in a long while. Elects for the QB sneak on 2nd and 8. A nice play call there by the quarterback. He's gained himself an extra yard of breathing room.
Yeah, somehow McNamara goes up through the middle and then just makes it all the way. I don't think they spotting the ball right. Well, now they do. I mean, McNamara was able to get to just about the 7-yard line.
Generous spot there. McNamara looked like he maybe got 1 yard. They give him about 3. So he's going to go empty in the backfield. 3 receivers out to his right-hand side. Double tight end set to his left. Going to look to the air here on 3rd and 4. Slant route caught by Dalen Baldwin diving forward. Did he get enough for the first down? It's going to be close.
Yeah, the issue right there is the way Baldwin caught that ball. It looks like his knee was down as he caught it. So spotting him at the 10-yard line.
Correction, that pass caught by Hassan Haskins. So Michigan, while it's only 4th and 1, they're going to have to punt it away here. Another 3 and out as they're on only their own 9-yard line. The Penn State defense doing their offense a favor, getting the ball right back into their hands. The great field position for Penn State, rather, coming off the punt from Stout, pinning Michigan back on their own 1-yard line. Robbins' punt is away. Spiraling, it's going to bounce at about the 40-yard line and take a nice Michigan bounce. Going to roll past the 50. So it's going to be about 53 yards for Sean Clifford to go. Still, the Nittany Lions trying to find the end zone for the first time today. They're down 14-6 here in Happy Valley. Penn State offense wasting no time getting back out there. As I said, Clifford's going to have 53 yards to go. Ball starting on the Penn State 47-yard line. On 1st and 10, he's got a 3-receiver set. Back in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off. It's Kevon Lee up the middle, breaking a few tackles and getting about 5.
Yeah, Penn State able to do basically has done all their damage through the air. They have 190 yards, and before that play, they were 78 yards on the ground. So I was expecting them to go through the air right on this drive.
Credit where credit is due. 18 of those 190 coming out of the hands of Stout, the punter. 2nd and 3 here from the Michigan 46. It's going to be a handoff to Lee again. He's got room to work, trying to break to the outside, and a nice open field tackle. Coming up to wrap him up for the Michigan Wolverines was number 15, Christopher Hinton. Couldn't bring him down, but just kept him wrapped up long enough for the rest of his teammates to come over there and finish the job. Forward progress is going to give him 2 yards, so it'll be 3rd and 1 from the Michigan 46. Handoff Lee again, and he's got enough for the first down. 3 yards on 3rd and 1, so a fresh set of downs for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Penn State wasting no time. 3 receivers set out to Clifford's left-hand side. Handoff up the middle. It's going to be Lee once more. He's got 2 yards at the most.
And Now they're going a little bit slower, so the Wolverines are able to sub, get some fresh legs out there. But, you know, this is Aiden Hutchinson, David Ojabo time. Get that pressure, get the sack. Michigan Wolverines now have up to 6 sacks in this game. You know, they could use a 7th one right here.
Play action. Clifford looking to the air here on 2nd and 8. Escaping pressure, rolling to his left-hand side. And he's going to run. He's got a gain of 4 before getting pushed out of bounds by Nakai Hill-Green. We mentioned before the quarterback stats very comparable. McNamara 18 for 27 for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. Clifford 18 for 31 for 172 yards, but still unable to find the end zone. Penn State still down by 8, 14-6, and they've only got 10 minutes left to work in this ball game. Clifford sends one man in motion. It's going to be a screen out in the flats.
That's behind the belt.
And that's going to be called a backwards pass, and then now they're going to signal incomplete. Dax Hill came up and grabbed it right away as soon as it bounced.
That was very close. That was very, very, very close.
Coach Harbaugh on the sideline, not too happy with that, but he'll live with it being 4th down.
The ball did go for it. It basically went parallel.
Referees give the offense the benefit of the doubt. Penn State's going to keep the offense on the field. 4th down and 4 from the Michigan 35-yard line. The Wolverines trying to hold strong and force a turnover on downs. One man set in motion, now a bunch set to his right-hand side. Clifford looking to the air, and he's got a man across the middle. And that's enough for a 1st down. Bullet pass finds the hands of Dotson.
Yeah, Dotson, I mean, we haven't mentioned his name that much in this game. Coming up huge right there on the 4th down conversion. Michigan defense not able to get off the field.
Handoff to Kevon Lee in 1st and 10. He's got enough for 5 yards. Got met at the line of scrimmage after he went forward 2, bounced off a little bit, moved to his right-hand side, and squirmed his way forward for a few extra.
Penn State now knocking on the door of the red zone. Michigan's defense, they got to come up big. A little bit of confusion right now by the DBs.
Clifford, design quarterback draw on 2nd and 5, and he's going to be taken down in the backfield. David Ojabo right there. Correction, Donovan Jeter doing a nice job stripping his block and getting a hand out there.
Donovan Jeter, the Pennsylvania native, getting Clifford down right there.
Big tackle from Jeter there. He'll head to the sideline. Couple substitutions come in for both teams. Under 10 minutes left in regulation. Penn State's got 3rd and 6. Clifford with a 3-receiver set. Kevon Lee to his right-hand side. Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo looming large on either side of the Penn State offensive line. Handoff, Kevon Lee. He gets through the initial contact just short of the 1st down. It's going to be 4th and 1 from the 21-yard line. Penn State fans here in Happy Valley unhappy with that spot.
Now what do you want to do right here? And it looks like James Franklin's going to elect to keep his offense out on the field, which is a smart play because who knows if they'll be able to get the ball back in this one. You need the touchdown. Michigan's defense, you got to get off the field.
Empty backfield on 4th and 2.
Could be a designed keeper for Clifford right here.
Bunch set to his right-hand side as well as a receiver on the outside. Slant pass, caught across the middle, and good for a 1st down and more. It's Dotson again.
There you go, Jahan Dotson. We mentioned his name twice now. 2 huge 4th down conversions. Penn State now in the red zone, knocking on the door. Right now it's either touchdown or bust for the Nittany Lions.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Handoff, Kevon Lee pushing through, and the Wolverines meet him. Works his way up to about the 5-yard line. Kevon Lee is down on the ground, slow to get up. And referees are going to blow this one dead. Medical staff going to come out and attend to Kevon Lee. Not something you like to see if you're a Penn State fan.
Yeah, this drive now for the Nittany Lions, 12 plays, 46 yards. Not too worried about how much time's on the clock. I mean, 8:29 left, 1-possession game right here. If you are able to get the touchdown, you still got to go for the 2-point conversion. Michigan Wolverines got to get off the field. Jahan Dotson coming up, making 2 huge 4th down conversions for Penn State.
That's the thing with that missed field goal a little bit ago from Stout that he knocked off the right upright is the fact that it is an 8-point ball game. Even if Penn State does find the end zone, they're going to have to go for two to tie it up. Kelin Lee up on his feet, walking off on his own power. Good sign to see. He's been the real bright spot for this Penn State team. 20 carries for 88 yards. Definitely getting his touches in. So as the offense shares a quick few words with him in passing as he heads to the training tent, they're going to come and take their position. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. So you hear some "We Are Penn State" chants from the crowd here at Beaver Stadium. 8:29 left to play here in the fourth quarter. If you're just tuning in, the Michigan Wolverines hold a 14-6 lead. So Penn State, while they are in the red zone, if they score, they've got to go for 2.
And Michigan has experience in this one. I mean, you go back to the East Lansing game, the Wolverines forced to convert 2 two-point conversions. They were successful in it. Now, what can the Nittany Lions do right here? I mean, 48 yards, 12 plays. We're under 9 minutes now. But this drive will be crucial to see, like, because if Michigan's able to get the ball back, well, they will get the ball back. But if they're able to stop Penn State right here, or just like give up a field goal, and then Michigan's defense, or offense, it's going to be Hassan Haskins on the ground, nothing too crazy.
Kelin Lee, a huge person not to have in the game right now for Penn State. On the year, coming into this game, just under 90 carries for 440 yards, as well as 4 touchdowns. A strong presence, very physical style running back, a lot like Hassan Haskins. Can just push through, find gaps, and squirm his way forward for extra yards. That's exactly what you need this deep in the red zone, especially in a game that's as close as this one.
Also, they have Noah Cain, who we have yet to see up until now. He's been, I mean, he could be technically our running back number 1, but he's just really struggling to not turn over the ball. Otherwise, they've gone with Kelin Lee.
2nd and 5. Clifford doing some calisthenics to stay loose. 8:29 left in the game clock. It's going to be Clifford in the backfield. To his right-hand side is Noah Cain, who we just mentioned. 2 receivers out to his right side as well. A lone receiver on the far sideline. It's Jahan Dotson. Dotson now sent in motion. Left side of the field completely empty. Bunch set to the right. Clifford rolling. Looking to the end zone. That one floated, and that one out of bounds. It'll be 3rd and goal now.
Yeah, Junior Colson with the pressure from the backside of Clifford right there. Clifford's able to get away with it, but also you had David Ojabo coming up the middle. But 3rd and goal, this is 4-down territory. This is 4-down territory for Penn State. As Michigan is subbing, they get Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson out there with Hinton and Jeter.
Bunch set to the left-hand side. Clifford also has Noah Cain to his left. Nobody on this near sideline. Michigan coming through untouched. That one connected to Dotson. He spins forward, a screen pass, and he's up to the 2-yard line. This is the biggest play of the game for either team. 4th and goal from the 2.
Yeah, Michigan blitzing on that one right there. DJ Turner is able to bring Jahan Dotson down. Otherwise, Jahan Dotson walks into the end zone.
Both teams packing the box.
Big play right here.
Clifford under center. He's going to play action. Look to the end zone. Through the air. Caught! Touchdown, Penn State! That one finds the hands of the tight end, Tyler Warren. And Penn State cuts the Michigan lead to 2.
That's 3 4th-down conversions right there by Penn State. You got to give credit where credit is due. They're able to execute. Now they have a big 2-point conversion. What do they do here? Did they do a similar play, or do they try to keep it on the ground? I expect them to go through the air, or Clifford keeping it.
As I just said, that last play, the biggest play of the game for either team, arguably this one even bigger. That touchdown doesn't mean as much if Penn State can't find the end zone here on the 2-point conversion. It would still be a 1-possession ball game. Interesting formation. 3 receivers split way wide left. Clifford looking in the end zone on an isolation, and he gets it! Connects with Dotson! And we are tied up here at Penn State.
Jahan Dotson, you were only going to be able to contain him so long. And, Michigan Wolverines did not capitalize on the opportunities that Penn State gave them. And now Penn State's able to go drive down the field 53 yards, 15 plays, and put it in the end zone, similar to what the Wolverines did in that second quarter. Total time of possession on that drive was 7 minutes and 35 seconds for the Nittany Lions. We got a ball game now. Now it's anything. So this next drive for the Wolverines could potentially be their season if they want to go anywhere deep or any opportunity for a college football playoff.
Head coach James Franklin picking on DJ Turner twice in a row there. Both passes on this near sideline in the front corner. Both connecting. And like I said, we're tied up 14-14 with 7:35 left to play here at Beaver Stadium.
109,000 people have been re-energized with that drive right there. Not only do they get the touchdown, they convert the two-point conversion, tie it up at 14. You want to beat an elite program? Your back's against the wall right now. You got to come out. You got to put points on the board. You cannot put field goals up there. But Michigan will be going away from the Penn State student section. But regardless, it's going to be loud in here. You got 109,000 people.
Michigan going to have to get it done on the offensive end. Clifford pushing his name a little bit farther forward in this quarterback comparison today. Now after that drive, 22 for 37, just under 200 yards with 197 and a touchdown through the air. He's got a 113.1 passing rating. And man, has he been effective. Dual threat today. He doesn't have many rushing yards, but he's got 15 attempts. He can use his legs to extend plays. And, while I said it only has 13 yards, but just the fact that he can escape the pocket and escape that incredible Michigan pass rush of Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo has proved to be pretty effective for the Nittany Lions. $7:35 left to play here, and what a ball game we've had so far. Michigan finding the end zone twice from the hand of Cade McNamara, both of them going to Roman Wilson. He had his first touchdown of his career, followed it up with another one. In terms of Penn State, they had 2 field goals come from Stout, the long 52, had the wind at his back to help him out a little bit. And then that last drive, Sean Clifford finds the end zone, connecting with his tight end, and then finds the end zone once more to Dotson on the 2-point conversion. So touchdown to Tyler Warren, 2-point conversion to Jahan Dotson, and we're locked up at State College.
Michigan on their last 2 possessions have gone 3 and out. So when the going gets tough right now, the Wolverines, they're bending and they're slowly breaking, but they're going to get the ball back with plenty of time on the clock. They got all their time. They got 2 timeouts. So that is not an issue. The issue is converting and getting in the end zone. Most likely going to start out at their own 20.
It'll be Stout to kick it away here as the ball blows off the tee. The wind continuing to swirl down there lower in the bowl. 7:35 left to play. It's A.J. Henning back deep to receive for the Wolverines. As the ball blows off the tee once more, so they're just going to have somebody come out and hold it. It's Jalen Reed, the strong safety, is going to be the holder here. Student section with their white pom-poms, making their presence felt here at State College. Stout looks to his left, now to his right, and he'll head up and kick it away. This one is going to fall short of the goal line, so A.J. Henning going to have to fair catch it at the 3. Michigan will go to work with a touchback. McNamara and the Michigan offense looking to avoid their 3rd straight 3 and out. They've got to at least chew up some clock here with 7:35 left to play. In the backfield is McNamara and Hassan Haskins, the two receivers out to his right-hand side. Cornelius Johnson Jr. and the man of the hour, Roman Wilson. First play, handoff, Haskins met in the backfield, escaping the first tackle, but Penn State takes him down for a loss. Right there on the tackle is Jaquan Brisker, the captain, the free safety.
So with that long drive by the offense, all it did was give this defense a time to catch their breath, regroup, and it was shown right there as they're able to get Hassan Haskins in the backfield and lose a yard on that one. And it's going to be 2nd and 11.
4 receivers set here for McNamara. Penn State coming up playing man-to-man defense. He's got 75 yards to go. McNamara looking to the air, batted down, right back at him. Coverage was coming. Derek Tangelo was right there to knock it back down in McNamara's face.
3rd and long behind the chains, not ideal for the Wolverines. Clock stopped at 6:52. Luke Schoonmaker checking into the game for the Wolverines. It looks like they're going to go with the empty back set. They got to go through the air with all this noise in Beaver Stadium right now.
Roman Wilson and Luke Schoonmaker over to McNamara's right. He's got 3 receivers on the near sideline. Looking to the air on 3rd and 11 now. Pressure coming, and he's sacked. Ball is out. And Penn State's got the football. What a swing of momentum. As there's an injured player down on the field now getting to his feet. Penn State's going to get the football at the 15-yard line. They are in the red zone.
Speechless. There's really not much you can say on that possession right there. You know, Michigan, this is their own doing. You cannot leave a team like Penn State, let them hang around and tie this game up at 14. And then they have a huge sack right there by Arnold Iwakate. Coming just beats the right tackle, or was that Ryan Hayes again? I believe that was Hayes that gets beat right there. They get sacked, get the sack, get the fumble, and now Penn State knocking on the door, looking to take the lead for the first time in this game.
Penn State going to hurry up and try to get a playoff here. They showed the replay up on the board, and it looked like he might have been down, but Penn State gets a playoff, so it's not going to matter anymore. Really, the Lions doing a good job just getting a playoff, so Michigan can't try and challenge that last one.
Crazy turn of events right here.
2nd and 6 inside the red zone. Clifford alone in the backfield. Now motions Kevon Lee over to his right-hand side. Send a tight end over to the other side. 2 receivers on the far side. One-on-one coverage right here. Fakes the toss. Now play action. Rolling up, throwing on the run. Almost intercepted just past the right hand of the corner, Vincent Gray.
So now they're in 3rd down right here. Wolverines they struggled the last drive that Penn State had to get off the field. I mean, this is not 4-down territory for Penn State. If they're not able to convert the 4th down right here, then it's just going to be a field goal attempt. But you gotta get to the quarterback. You cannot give Clifford time. You also got to cover Jahan Dotson. They're going to go after DJ Turner right here. He really struggled that last possession.
Both teams packing the box. Penn State and a double bunch set. Clifford will be back in the gun. He's got Lee to his right-hand side. 3rd and 7. Dropping back to pass is Clifford. Hit hard as he throws, and that one going to go out the back of the end zone.
Brad Robbins shot through a cannon right there, able to keep the Nittany Lions out of the end zone, make them attempt the field goal. Wolverines defense is able to hold strong right there. Now, can they keep Penn State off the scoreboard? Scalp's going to attempt.
Clifford visibly shaken up as he goes to the sidelines.
Yeah, Brad Hawkins, he laid a good hard hit on him.
Exactly 6 minutes left to play here. Stout with basically a chip shot for him to tie it or to take the lead. And that one's through the uprights. And Penn State changing the momentum. They are on top now. Michigan had 2 straight 3-and-outs and then fumbled the football. Penn State took over at the 15-yard line, and it was nothing but a matter of time before they put more points on the board.
So even though Penn State was able to put up points on the board, it plays in the favor of the Wolverines, only giving up a field goal right there. We're at 5:55 left in the fourth quarter. Penn State up for the first time. All the momentum's in their favor right now. You know, Michigan, their last 3 drives, 2 of them ended in 3 and outs. The last one ended in a fumble or a sack fumble. So it's going to be an interesting drive right here. Wolverines, they need to go the distance, and they're probably going to start out at the 20 again.
What a change of momentum. The Penn State defense bringing the pressure, forcing the McNamara fumble. And now Michigan playing from behind for the first time today. It's 5:55 left on the game clock. Penn State leads 17-14 here at Beaver Stadium. Just tuning in, Michigan has been struggling on the offensive end. I just mentioned 3 possessions ago, Michigan had a 3 and out. Possession after that, 3 and out. The last possession the Wolverines came out onto the field for, Cade McNamara, strip sack, turns it over. Penn State gets the ball at the 15 and just has to put it through the uprights off the right foot of Stout, and now they're out in front. Yet to see J.J. McCarthy today for the Michigan Wolverines. He's out there getting some warm-up passes in alongside McNamara. It'll be interesting to see how the story develops with Sean Clifford as he took that shot from Brad Hawkins, as we mentioned, on 3rd down, was visibly shaken up, took a little bit to get up off his feet, or get up onto his feet, rather, was slow getting off the field, was helped over to the bench by training staff. Could be a huge, huge loss for Penn State.
Yeah, it really could be. But, you know, you go back to that sack right there, Ryan Hayes, he's been struggling all game, keeping his defender away from getting to Cade McNamara in that last drive. He was able to get to Cade McNamara, force the strip sack. But, you know, there's still plenty of time in this game. Wolverines are going to get the ball. This game's not over. Not by any means. The odds are increasingly stacking up against Michigan right now. But
Stout to kick it away. 5:55 left here in regulation. A.J. Henning back deep to receive for the Maize and Blue. With the wind at his back, most likely Stout will just kick this one out of the back of the end zone. And it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. Henning lets it bounce, and it'll be a touchback. McNamara looking to recover and bounce back after the fumble. Michigan offense looking to put some more points on the board here and take the lead once again.
this is Michigan's season right here. This drive right here, it's Michigan's season. You need to go 75 yards, put it in the end zone. You want to be the best. Got to prove it right here on this drive.
2 receivers out to his right-hand side. McNamara in the gun. He's going to hand it off to Haskins. Dances around a little bit. Now finds a hole. He's got a first down and more. 15 yards. Keeping his legs chugging. And Hassan Haskins has 17 on the first play of this drive.
Yes, sir. Give it off to Hassan Haskins. Deflate the energy in Beaver Stadium just a tad bit. Get away from the student section. Michigan now almost up to they're past the 40-yard line.
With that rush, Haskins now over 100 yards on the ground today. He's going to get the handoff once more on 1st and 10. He's got a gain of about 4.
As long as he's able to keep it on the ground, keep doing it, but you're going to have to air it out. Hassan Haskins now up to 121 yards on the ground, so expect another run play right here.
Clock winding down. Michigan doing a nice job of eating up the clock here. Two tight end set, handoff Haskins. He's got a hole, spins away from one tackle, and he's 2 yards short of the first down marker. He's exactly at midfield. It'll be 3rd and 2.
So they've handed it off to Hassan Haskins on every play on this drive. 3rd down and 2 at midfield. What do the Wolverines do right here? I mean, Penn State's packing the box right now.
Handoff, Haskins on 3rd and 2, and he's got enough for the first down.
Hassan Haskins able to move the chains.
Haskins just putting his head down and showing everybody why he's Michigan's power back. Into the game checks Andrell Anthony. Roman Wilson checks out. Clock has started to roll. Under 4:30 left to play here. Michigan in a 3-receiver set. 1 tight end. It's Eric All to the right side of McNamara. Handoff, Haskins. Met in the backfield, keeping his legs chugging, and he got back to the line of scrimmage. Penn State looked like they might have had a tackle for a loss to start. Coming through untouched was the free safety, Jaquan Brisker, on a safety blitz.
Seeing Andrell Anthony checking into that game, I thought the Michigan Wolverines were going to go through the air on that one. I mean, they handed it off to Hassan. That's the first time Hassan's had negative yardage on this drive.
2nd and 10 after the gain of nothing. Haskins to the left of Cade McNamara. 3 receivers out to the far sideline in front of Penn State's bench. Dropping back to pass for the first time this drive is McNamara. He's got Eric Hall wide open in the flats, and he's got room to 1. First down and more to the 20, 10, diving for the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan!
Yes,
what a
sir.
swing of events!
We mentioned it multiple times. What's the X factor in this game? It's going to be Eric All, the tight end right there, just a slant across, and Eric All goes the distance for a 50-yard Michigan touchdown. Michigan back out on front. Yes, sir.
What a play call from the Michigan Wolverines. We're pounding the box with Hassan Haskins, catch Eric All over the middle, and caught the Nittany Lions sleeping. 47 yards to the tight end, and the Wolverines back out in front.
Now, Money Moody with a lot of pressure on this one right here. Michigan up by 3. He needs to make this field goal, but it looks like they might review this one.
The play is under further review. We'll check to see if Eric All was pushed out of bounds before reaching the end zone, but no matter what, Michigan either has A, a touchdown, or B, they're inside the 5-yard line.
I'll go with A. give me that touchdown. But, you know, it's just Michigan's luck. They're reviewing it right here. But just it was actually a 3-yard pass to Eric All. Eric All turns on the Jets. I think that's a touchdown. From this angle right here, unless he steps out at the 3-yard line. From this angle, you cannot overturn that. There's nothing to overturn right here on this angle. This will be the angle that solidifies it.
Both feet in bounds, and that's got to be a touchdown. Both feet are in bounds. He gets hit from behind by the man trailing him, Jair Brown.
Yeah, Brown right there knocks him at the 2-yard line. He gets contact at the 2. But when does that ball cross the line of scrimmage is the deciding point right here. And, you know, the call on the field was a touchdown. We've said this before, and it's turned against Michigan. Do the odds stack in Michigan's favor? The question is, he did not step out before the 2-yard line.
He did not step out, and when Jair Brown hit him from behind, as the call comes in. And after review, the play does stand, so the Michigan Wolverines back out in front, 20-17. But as you mentioned before the review, Amer, this is a huge extra point from Jake Moody. Currently, it sits as a 3-point ball game. If Moody's able to knock this one through the uprights, Penn State would need a touchdown.
Finally, the Michigan Wolverines get a call. That works in their favor.
Moody back for the extra point. Good snap, good hold, and Money Moody does what he does best, puts it through the uprights.
So now Penn State needs to go score a touchdown if they want to get back out on top on this one. And if you're asking me what I want Michigan's defense out on the field. I really do. You know, they've played a solid game. They really have. Up until those last few possessions by Penn State, which ended up in a touchdown to tie this game up, but I believe in this Michigan defense. This Michigan defense has been the backbone of this team. You got to rely on David Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson. And, I mean, you cannot forget about the fifth-year senior Josh Ross right there, middle linebacker. So the Wolverines, they've practiced all week long to shut down Dotson. Dotson coming to life, those last few possessions right there. Now, Wolverines did exactly what they were supposed to do. They put points on the board. They're back out on top. Now they got to play defense. And you know what they say? Defense wins championships. What can the Wolverines do right here?
The redshirt senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, Sean Clifford, out there throwing some warm-up passes. He was visibly shaken up on that last drive where Penn State kicked the field goal. But he seems to be okay and looking to lead his Nittany Lions on a potential game-winning drive. Penn State has 3 minutes and 29 seconds left to work. They need a touchdown. They do have all 3 timeouts, though, so they've got plenty of time in their back pocket. Players to watch out for on this upcoming drive for Penn State. Jahan Dotson has to be at the top of that list. Clifford has 197 yards through the air today, and Dotson's got 61 of those. He's got 15 targets. You know they want to go his way. Also, Keon Lee, 20 carries for 88 yards. Definitely getting his touches in today.
So I go back to that review. It was not confirmed a touchdown. It stood as called on the field. So the referees decided there was not enough evidence to overturn it or confirm that it was a touchdown. But we'll take it. Michigan up by 4. 3:29 left to play in this one. Whew. What an interesting fourth quarter.
Cade McNamara having a day. 19 for 29, 217 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That last one of the biggest of his collegiate career.
Could be collegiate clear season. Wolverines answering when everybody counted him out right there. But now they got to take care of it on the defensive side of the ball.
You just felt all of the energy get drained out of the stadium as Eric Hall streaked his way down the sidelines further and further towards the end zone. It felt like every step he took, just more and more wind was taken out of the sails of the Penn State faithful.
And he just came across the middle. It was a 3-yard pass across the middle by McNamara, and Eric Hall goes 47 yards to the house, gives the Wolverines a 4-point lead.
It'll be Jake Moody to kick it away. Back deep to receive for Penn State is Kevon Lee. So if statistics ring true, Penn State will go to work after the touchback from Moody. This one arcing well past the end of the end zone. Hits the second end in Penn State, so it'll be Clifford to go 75 yards. He's got 3.5 minutes to do so. He's got 3 timeouts in his back pocket.
Yeah, but how healthy is Clifford? A healthy Sean Clifford plays in the favor of Penn State. A banged-up Clifford, we'll see probably a lot of Kevon Lee on the ground. But Jahan Dotson, the matchup to pay attention to is Jahan Dotson against DJ Turner. And DJ Turner got burned a few times.
4 receiver set here. Kevon Lee to the right-hand side of Clifford. Back in the shotgun. 1st and 10 from the 25. Clifford looking in the air. Taking a shot down the far sideline right away. And just past the outstretched arms of the receiver, number 6, Cam Sullivan, Brown.
Yeah, Brown right there going toe-to-toe with the Michigan cornerback. And it looks like it was Vincent Gray. And fingertips, literally fingertips away from catching that one.
Following the big missed play, it'll be 2nd and 10. It's going to be Clifford alone in the backfield. He's got an empty set. Shares a quick word with the center now, gets the snap, dropping back to pass, looking over the middle, and he's got a completion. That one good, right into the chest of number 80, Malik Mega. So it'll be 3rd and 2 here Clock still ticking down. Penn State's got now under 3 minutes to work. Clifford alone in the backfield once more. 4 receivers to his left-hand side. Looking to the air, passed across the middle. He had his man. It hit him in the hands. Jahan Dotson had contact with the ball, but 2 Michigan defenders collapsed on him, and it falls harmlessly to the turf.
Yeah, Brad Robbins on the tackle right there. They just collide. Dotson was slow to get up after that one.
It's 4th down and 2.
So previously, so there's going to be no review, but previously Penn State was able to convert on 4th down. Now they don't have Dotson who helped them convert on all those plays. But here we go, baby. Here we go.
4 down territory. It's going to be Clifford in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his left. Now motions Kevon Lee out. Calls him back in. So he went empty for a second, decided to bring the extra blocker back in.
Depending on how healthy he is, he could keep it and just run it for himself.
Nobody back deep for Michigan. 4th down and 2. Throwing a go route on the far sideline and way incomplete.
No flags on that one. Michigan is able to get off the field. Woo! What a play. But just lofts it up. Michigan brought the house on that one. They really did. They brought the house. Everybody was there. DJ Turner a second away from sacking Clifford.
Michigan didn't have a single person outside of the box. Everyone was packed in. Nobody was even 5 yards deep. Everyone was right up on the line.
So before the Wolverines start this drive, number 8 Oklahoma suffers their first loss of the season to Baylor, 27-14.
Hassan Haskins gets the handoff on 1st and 10.
So Penn State has 3 timeouts. They're going to burn their first timeout right here. We got 2:54 left. Everybody can expect Michigan to keep it on the ground because they have to get the first down to basically end this game right here. But Penn State's going to have 2 timeouts. Got to go to the playbook. You got to make it interesting, or do you keep giving it to Hassan Haskins?
If your head coach Jim Harbaugh and offensive coordinator Josh Gaddis right now, there's nobody else on the field you want to give the ball more to right now than Hassan Haskins. 28 carries on the day for 136 yards. He's averaging just under 5 yards a carry. I mean, he's been the definition of just grounded pound football today.
And coming off a career performance last weekend against Indiana. Gotta love it. You gotta love it. He's showing why he's one of the best.
Haskins having to step up today with Blake Corum not making the trip to Happy Valley. McNamara in the pistol. 2 tight ends to his left-hand side. It's going to be an off-tackle run for Haskins. He tripped himself up, now breaks out into the open field, spinning and putting the ball forward. And it's going to be close to a first down. We'll see where they mark him.
So they're going to mark him short. Penn State's going to burn a timeout. They could potentially review this because, I mean, our guy Zach Linfield talked about how slippery this field is. If Hassan Haskins does not trip on that initial play right there, I think he gets the first down, no questions asked. But he trips. He's able to stay up on the ground, spins. I don't agree with this where they're going to put the ball. I think it's a lot closer, but it's going to be 3rd down and less than a yard to go. Penn State has 1 timeout remaining, 2:37. All Michigan really needs is a first down conversion. That's all they need. Sounds simple, but you got to get it. And they are in Jake Moody territory. So if they don't get it, you can kick a field goal and make it a 7-point game. But
3rd and 1, Michigan in a 2 tight end set in the I formation. Eric All's the fullback. Cade McNamara is going to run QB sneak, and it looks like he's got enough for the first down.
They are really close on that line of scrimmage, or the line to gain. Where do they place the ball? Where do these referees put the ball? It's going to be a first down for the Wolverines.
And that one might just ice it. Penn State has 1 timeout left. The clock's going to start to roll. 2:30 left in this game. Michigan with this 4-point lead. The chains are set. The clock is rolling.
Penn State does have a timeout remaining. James Franklin not electing to use it. That should do it.
Play clock ticking under 10 seconds. It's getting down near 1. McNamara barely gets the snap off. Handoff to Hassan Haskins. Breaks away from a few tackles. He's got a gain of 3. And Penn State's going to take their third and final timeout here. So exactly 2 minutes left to play in this one. If Michigan gets one more first down, this one is all but over.
The writing is on the wall, but you have to execute. You got to execute. 2 minutes, you need one more first down if you're the Wolverines. Penn State has no timeouts remaining.
Michigan just has to avoid any mistakes here. Cannot, in any world, give the ball back over to the Penn State Nittany Lions. A fumble, a turnover of any kind would be devastating.
You also do not want to stop the clock, but I wouldn't mind seeing them go through the air because everybody expects them to run it. Everybody. So could we see a jet sweep or a bootleg or something like that, but it doesn't look like it.
Both teams back in the box here. Handoff Haskins again. He's got off tackle and enough for a first down. Cutting up, spinning back. He stays in bounds. And he's inside the 10-yard line. Clock's going to start rolling down. Under 2 minutes to play. Clock starts rolling once more. Clock ticks under 150. And this game's about all but over. Aiden Hutchinson on the sidelines is pumped up.
Yes, sir. What a game. Michigan, Cade McNamara is going to go into victory formation. If you asked me about 15 minutes ago when this game was tied up at 14, would Michigan come out on top? I would not have believed you 1 second. But Michigan Wolverines, they were able to do it. They're able to come into Happy Valley and pull off the win.
McNamara takes a knee on 1st and goal. The clock's going to tick down. He's going to have to snap it at least one more time. But what a day for Michigan quarterback Cade McNamara. 19 for 29 through the air for 217 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 of those going to Roman Wilson, the last one to Eric All, which put Michigan back out in front. The 52-yard touchdown on what was basically a simple crossing route to the tight end.
Yeah, I mean, simple 2-3-yard pass. Eric Hall does the rest, takes it into the end zone. Cade McNamara is going to take what seems to he's going to have to snap it once more. Whew. Take a deep breath after this one.
About 1 second separating the play clock and the game clock. So McNamara just has to take one more knee. And that's going to do it for this one. Both teams head to their sidelines. The Michigan Wolverines fight back at the last minute. The huge play from Cade McNamara to Eric All. The long touchdown of 47 yards to cap it off. And the Wolverines survive and advance. With Oklahoma losing, that just opens up the door even more for the Wolverines to make a potential college football playoff appearance.
Survive and advance, baby. That's the terminology for the Wolverines today. I mean, that first quarter was really rough for them, only having the ball for 3 minutes and getting, 6 plays off. And then a good second quarter. The third quarter, they come out and they score on their opening drive. You start to feel good. But then Penn State showing bursts of why they were one of the best teams a couple weeks ago. Jahan Dotson coming up huge for the Nittany Lions, converting 2 fourth-down conversions for them and then scoring the 2-point conversion. What a game. Michigan Wolverines are able to come back and pull it off. May have not been pretty the whole time. Low-scoring game, but nonetheless, the Wolverines entering the most crucial stretch of the season are able to go 1-for-1 this weekend. Now they go into Maryland next weekend, and that you cannot overlook that game. You cannot, you're looking at the next game, which is Ohio State. You cannot overlook Maryland, because if you do, Michigan could fall into problems right there. So as much as you want to look and get ready for Ohio State, you cannot overlook Maryland. Michigan now more and more are controlling their own destiny. They took care of business. Now you let the rest play out however it wants to play out.
Yeah, obviously that game against Ohio State kind of looking like the path to the playoff. But as you mentioned, Amer, if you lose that one in Maryland, those playoff hopes are all but gone. You might as well light them on fire. The final here from Happy Valley and at Beaver Stadium, the Michigan Wolverines 21 to the Penn State Nittany Lions 17. What a day it was. Back and forth the entire time. It was close. It looked like at one point Michigan had potential if they had found the end zone one more time to start to run away with it, but Penn State battled right back. As we mentioned, Jahan Dotson found the end zone on the two-point conversion to tie things up, or take the lead, rather. And then Michigan able to fight their way back. The final once more, 21-17. My name has been Charlie Brigham. Alongside me, Amer Bektas. The first half was brought to you by Zach Linfield and Kelin Flynn. And that's going to do it for WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. We'd like to thank you for tuning in. If you're interested in listening to more WCBN Sports coverage, make sure to hit that subscribe button under the video feed. And head on over to WCBN Sports 2 right now, where the ending of the Michigan women's basketball game is going on against St. Francis of Brooklyn. But again, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and we're going to leave you like we always do with a good night and a Go Blue.